Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Thursday night football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Kickoff will be in roughly about 15 minutes. So get settled in, get your beverage and your obviously snacks ready, and we'll get going here in just one moment. And let's cue up the music, and we'll take a quick look at the thumb as well. Happy Thursday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, we have the first ballot Hall of Famer, Mike Evans. And on the right, the running back stud for the ATL, Bijan Robinson. Let's go, baby. I'm very excited about this matchup. You know, if you go back and look at the, dubs that we had this season, obviously we had that really bad loss against the Denver Broncos, and there is no excuse. Again, they played great. We didn't. But if you go back and look, at some of the other dubs that the Buccaneers have had, we've been pretty impressive. Atlanta has actually been much better, obviously, this season than compared to past seasons as well. But it just kind of feels good to know that we are on the right track. And if we go back to the scores and kind of looking back in the first, 4 weeks, we started off obviously in week 1 with the Commanders, and obviously seeing, now where the Commanders are at. I don't think a lot of people understood what that meant that early in the season. The Commanders are 3-1. Their only loss was to us. Jaden Daniels looks like he's going to win Rookie of the Year on the offensive side, either him or Malik Neighbors. Those are going to be the two candidates. So maybe early on in week 1, nobody was really paying attention to how good possibly the Commanders could be and Jaden Daniels, or maybe how good the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, ending in week number 2, when you end up playing a team like the Detroit Lions. As we know, it's very difficult to beat them. And for us to go in Detroit, into the Big D, that's not Dallas, and to win 2016, that was huge. Played like shit against the Denver Broncos and lost 26-7 at home. And I feel that's just kind of one of those things that will happen once or twice in the season. But then we made up for it, and we played the Philadelphia Eagles last week, and we won 33-16. So I definitely think that the Bucs are one of the top 5, top 10 teams in the NFL right now. And again, this one isn't going to be easy. We are on the road. I feel that we are the better team. But again, just because you might have the better roster, top to bottom, and it also depends on what injuries that you have. The Atlanta Falcons have been only a couple plays away from being 4-0, or you can flip it and say 0-4. They're 2-2, and a lot of their games are coming down right to the wire, with Koo kicking a field goal to win in a couple of them. So I understand if this game ends up being a little bit close for comfort, it may come down to a kick by Tampa Bay or Atlanta to win the game. But I'm hoping that we can end up, asserting ourselves. We have no Antoine Winfield Jr., but we've had a majority of the first month of the season without him. Hopefully that won't be the deciding factor. We've been finding ways to be able to win without him. Vita Vea is definitely more important at this point up front to be able to stop the run and gain pressures on the quarterback. And hopefully Antoine Winfield Jr. will be healthy here in a few weeks. But we have proven that we can win without him. With Vita Vea being obviously out against the Broncos, not so much. So I'm really excited to be able to see what our defense can do here as well. And then with the Atlanta Falcons, obviously Kirk Cousins, not 100%, coming back from the surgery, but he's still trying to be able to, find the right type of scheme with the new OC. Kyle Pitts is a non-factor. You're going to get a lot of Drake London. You're going to get a lot of Darnell Mooney, get a lot of Bijan and Algier. And again, really the strong suit, in my opinion, for Atlanta is their defense. They got Matthew Judon from the Patriots. You got Justin Simmons from the Broncos. A couple of years ago, you got Jesse Bates III from the Bengals. And if I'm really being honest. Those are three players that I would love to have on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I respect those three guys. I understand how good those three guys are. But as you guys know, it's 11 on 11. And I feel that at this point, there's a lot on the line. I believe in the last 10 matchups against the Falcons, we're 7-3. So regardless if we're at home or on the road, I'm very confident. And hopefully we can end up getting the dub, even if it ends up only being by 1, 2, or 3. We'll take it. Could end up being a victory by Tampa Bay or Atlanta by 7 or more. But hopefully we end up getting a good quality game. And I'm hoping for at least like a 24-20 kind of game. I want to make sure that we're getting a few touchdown passes, a couple touchdowns on the ground, maybe a defensive touchdown, fumbles, picks, strip sacks. You want to have a little bit of everything. But it's just nice that after the post-Tom Brady era, we didn't really know if Baker was going to be the guy. And, we were looking at, maybe Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr., depending on where we fell in the draft. But Baker has definitely proven himself. The Cleveland Browns definitely are wishing that they had Baker Mayfield instead of Deshaun Watson or Jameis Winston. But again, he wouldn't really succeed in Cleveland. Not very many people can. That franchise has got a lot of problems. So I feel that sometimes things happen for a reason. And you end up, going to the team where you're supposed to be. It just might end up being your second team or your third team before you end up finding home. And Baker is home. And we're not going to be looking at a quarterback for, probably the next 5 to 10 years. And that is an awesome feeling, knowing that I got a franchise QB, obviously had Tom for 3 years. And then prior to that, you had guys like Josh Freeman and Jeff Garcia, Vinny Testaverde, Chris Sims, so it's been very up and down, and we never really had franchise QBs. And now within the last 2 quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, we finally have some stability there, and it feels very, very good. Daniel in the building, what's good? Michael in the building, what's good? How are you guys? Hopefully that you guys are doing well. Megan in the building, what's good? Captain Oreo in the building, what's good? Odin in the building, what's good? I'm excited for Bad Blood, WWE's pay-per-view on Saturday. We got Ducks and Michigan State tomorrow. And then obviously we have the Steelers and Cowboys on Sunday night, Chiefs and Saints on Monday night. So a very exciting set of games, for the next 4 or 5 days, including wrestling. So I'm on cloud 9 right now. Got to get this Buccaneer win. Got to get a Duck win tomorrow. All right, WWE Bad Blood. I feel that there's going to be some controversy there, especially if you're going to have Roman and Cody tagging up. Maybe an accidental spear by Roman to Cody, and then that will lead up to their, maybe a little upbringing in the feud, and then they'll end up matching up on the next pay-per-view or the pay-per-view after. It's going to be a little bit better than I think, most people, when you have these kind of mid-card pay-per-views or PLEs, they're not, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, the filler pay-per-views. Sometimes they end up underwhelming, a little bit, and you just got to think, well, it'll at least be like a 7 or an 8. But a lot of the PLEs, even the mid-card ones, have actually been a little bit better, and most of them, not all, have been an 8 or better, somewhere between 8, 8.5, or a 9. So I'm definitely looking forward to hanging out with the fam and watching some good wrestling. But tonight, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons battling out here in the Dirty South, and I can't wait to see what we get here in this matchup tonight. Let's go. Yeah, I definitely think it'll be back and forth. I mean, the Falcons, again, they were a few plays away from being 4-0, but you could also say they were a few plays away from being 0-4. So they definitely have had the ball bounce in their favor a few times. They got an amazing kicker. We got a pretty good one as well. So really it's going to be about, the offensive line and the defensive line. Who's going to be able to win the battle in the trenches. Baker is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, and I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Kirk has always been a guy, that's been 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, somewhere between 10 and 15. And when he was in his prime, maybe with Minnesota, you could probably argue he had a few years or a few weeks in his prime where maybe he was considered a top 8 quarterback. But after the injury, his mobility is definitely, hindering him from being the full version of the Kirk Cousins that we remember. But he's still good enough to beat Tampa Bay. I mean, hell, we lost to Bo Nix obviously a few weeks ago. So anything can happen on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. But we need this win. And again, we're trying to go for our 4th NFC South crown in a row. Atlanta hasn't won the South since 2016, but it feels like, if the Saints keep getting beat up with injuries, with Ruiz at center and a few of their defensive players, the Saints started off 2-0, but now with the injuries catching up to them, I feel like Atlanta is right there to be able to kind of take that spot for number 2 in the NFC South. Not that the Saints are a bad team, but anytime you have injuries, as you know, it could definitely hinder your team from giving the best performance possible unless you end up having amazing backups. But again, backups compared to starters in the NFL, it's a dramatic difference. Just like watching the Seahawks obviously go against the Lions. And, you could definitely tell in the matchup that if the Seahawks had their starters, they might have won that game. And again, they definitely didn't get any of the calls from the refs, but I think I was a little bit more impressed with Seattle and their backups, even though they lost the game, to see like how close they were with 4 or 5 starters out on defense. Most people would have got blown out by 30 or 35 or 40. I mean, it would have been terrible, but they had a chance, kind of towards the end, if the refs weren't really trying to cover the spread and, not call those bad, PI calls like the one on Tyler Lockett and then a couple others where they tackled, the receiver like DK and they didn't call it. So again, I'm not really sure what kind of conspiracy theories that we have, but I definitely, pay attention to a lot of the calls, and it's very curious timing with a lot of the calls that are called or not called. But I think that, even though that Seattle lost, I was impressed, with the backups, and obviously they need their starters to be, healthy and out there to be able to help them. But, I don't really see Seattle any differently after that particular matchup. If anything, I still think that they're one of the best teams in the NFC. They are going to have a good chance to match up with the Niners for the NFC West crown. And I like the job that McDonald is doing. I mean, Walker came back from the oblique, brutalized me in fantasy, got 3 touchdowns. And again, they got good depth, obviously, at certain positions, others a little bit lighter. But again, we'll see what we get here tonight with the Bucs and the Falcons. Let's go, baby. Jay might be a factor. Yeah, but Baker is a lot better right now. Again, you could throw to Jerry Jeudy and you could throw to Amari Cooper, and you're going to still be able to put up stats, in that regard. But, do they got a Tristan Wirfs? Do they got a good coaching staff? Do they got good defenders besides Myles Garrett? Plus, they have a tradition of losing. So, again, sometimes you end up having these franchises. Baker ended up showing some flashes when he was on Carolina. He ended up showing some flash with the Rams. And sometimes, you just have to go to a right place. And obviously we have a good supporting cast, but that doesn't mean that, any quarterback could come in and succeed. Even if you have Mike Evans, even if you have, Chris Godwin, even if you have Rashad White and Bucky Irving, we've seen like Jameis Winston, have plenty of options as well, but Jameis Winston is not Baker Mayfield. So again, depending on if you've watched games, of the Bucs, or if you watch Baker very closely, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year, just like Sam Darnold. It might be a weird thing to say, but like comparing your quarterback, with the Patrick Mahomes looks terrible. He's got 6 touchdowns and like 5 picks. That is not very Mahomes-like. So if we're talking about fantasy, Mahomes is not even startable anymore. He's a guy that's getting dropped in a lot of leagues now. Is he still considered one of the best quarterbacks on planet Earth? Yes, but for fantasy purposes and overall, he hasn't really been the same quarterback in 2 years. Now, are you guys still good enough to make it to a Super Bowl and possibly win? That is yet to be determined, to be able to go for a three-peat. But, again, sometimes you can end up having a great quarterback with great legacy, but that doesn't mean that they're playing well. You actually have to watch the games and understand that, sometimes, things aren't going to, the ball isn't going to bounce in your favor every single time. And obviously injuries to Pacheco and Rashee Rice is definitely going to be not so kind to the Chiefs, but still, I would assume they will be favored against the Saints because of their injuries that they had, obviously on the defensive side of the ball and the O-line. So we will see. We will see how it all plays out. Let's go, baby. I don't think they're going to trade to Kansas City because they don't have the money. Again, that would be crazy, and that would be they obviously have a need there at receiver. Xavier Worthy can step up, and the Travis Kelce can get back to being Travis Kelce and getting some more targets, which may lead to more Taylor on the screen. But if the Chiefs are winning and their fans obviously are getting dubs, I don't think it's going to matter. But definitely losing Pacheco and Rice is huge, because you got to think Rice was a top 3 receiver this year based off numbers. Pacheco is definitely a top 5, top 10 running back. That's going to be hard to fill. Kareem Hunt's going to do his best job, better than Steele, obviously with his fumbling problems. Xavier Worthy isn't Rashee Rice. He's a little undersized, but he definitely has the speed. But, I would say that if Davante Adams ends up getting traded, which it sounds like it's a good possibility, even though the Chiefs would be amazing, just like the rumor with Mike Evans, a few years ago, I think that it would be more realistic if he ended up like on the Jets or the Saints, because I think it's pretty clear he wants to play with his friends. He wants to play with, Davante wants to play with Aaron Rodgers, or with Carr. And once Carr got, let go and traded, and then ended up moving to the Saints, I know that really upset him. And at that point, he didn't even want to be on the team anymore, I don't think. I don't think he'll verbally say that. But the whole reason of going, to the Raiders, was to be able to play with Carr, his college teammate at Fresno State. And then once they traded him away, obviously, the quarterback play was going to go downhill, regardless on who they have, Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew or Jimmy G, all these other different guys that are going to, but it's not Carr. And again, Carr fit really well in that offense. He's not very good fit with the Saints. It just doesn't seem like the most natural fit there, even though he did have good success in the first 2 weeks. And sometimes you just got to be able to find the right fit and the right scheme and the right supporting cast and coaches that suit your style, and we'll see how everything kind of plays out. But again, you also have to have the money to be able to do it. And there's only like 4 or 5 teams that have enough money to actually make it happen. But Jets and obviously the Saints would be, I think, preferred locations. A kind of a sleeper location for him, I don't think he necessarily would go there, would be the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. How crazy would that be? I mean, Daniels is already looking amazing. You put Devontae there, you might end up winning the division, even over the Cowboys. Obviously, Eagles are a little shaky right now as well. So 3-1 start for the Commandos, 3-1 start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here we go, 2-2 record, 65% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns and 4 picks. Kind of similar to what you get with Mahomes, 6 touchdowns and 5 picks. Hopefully that'll get better for Kirk Cousins and Mahomes as we move a little bit forward, but we will wait and see. Go Bucks. Shotgun set, hand off. And we got to make sure we keep Bijan, under 90 yards. Again, and that might be tough. We already know Bijan is a guy that can get 100. He can score once, twice, 3 times. But if we can minimize that, action on the run by Algier as well as Bijan, we already know Drake London and Mooney will get theirs. And again, we just want to make sure we get good pressure on the quarterback. 2nd down and 8. Cousins, little flick of the wrist, wide open. Wow. Kyle Pitts making a sighting. And again, they're not really using him properly. And he hasn't really looked the same since his surgery and his injury from a couple years ago. But that's a great start. And obviously anyone that's got Kyle Pitts in fantasy or just is rooting for him as maybe a Gator fan or just a Falcon fan, obviously just a go route. Tampa playing a soft zone and right in between the zone for a large gain. 1st down, Falcons. Bijan bouncing it to the outside. Get there, baby. And again, we are going to be at a disadvantage with no Antoine Winfield Jr. So hopefully, that's not going to become a deciding factor in this game. Yeah, but I don't think Pitts is going to take off. Mark Andrews was putting up back-to-back zeros. And I feel that, we'll see what Zach Robinson, cooks up. But it's not like I think that Kyle Pitts is going to turn into like a starting tight end in fantasy. I'm not even sure if he'll even be worth rostering, if I'm being honest. That was a good, obviously, breakdown of the coverage in the zone. But I don't assume that you're going to be getting multiple touchdowns out of Pitts. It's going to be a hit or miss kind of thing with him. Sidearm throw to the sideline and complete. Yeah, and I don't think you're going to have a problem with that. You drop Pitts, right? You drop Mahomes. I ended up dropping AR, and sometimes you got to be able to find something that's going to be, better. It might not be a popular player, but if they're putting up better numbers like Sam Darnold and Justin Fields for me and you, it's going to get us back into the mix. And I really do think at some point or another, you and me and Sarah are going to get back on track. I just, hope that it's this week. But Sarah's got Reflect, so that's going to be tough. Jonathan Taylor's injured, so she probably won't be able to win that matchup unless Reflect's players shit the bed. But I think with you and me, we have a very good chance. First down, Falcons. They're driving it here on Tampa. Drake London, I see you. But I definitely think that you and me have a great chance to be able to get it done, here this weekend. So I'm hoping that we can get back on track. Let's go, baby. We need some tighter defense here. Come on, Bucks. Little end around. Get him. There we go. Good gang tackle by the Bucks. Come on, baby. Cole in the building. What's good? Touchdown, Falcons. Wow. Kirk Cousins to Drake London. If you got Drake London, Chief has got Drake London and Mooney, and he's starting both of them because obviously he had A.J. Brown and Puka Nacua. Both of them went down with injuries. And, again, when you got a guy like Kirk Cousins, he's going to be able to thread the needle and right there into the soft zone. Shitty tackling by Tampa. If that's Antoine Winfield Jr., he's tackling the shit out of Drake London. And nice job. Not the way that I wanted the defense to come out there, on the road playing soft D. You definitely need to mix up the man in the zone, but you got to give the Falcons credit. Extra point is up and good. 7-0 Falcons. Maybe this will be a high-scoring affair. All I know is I got Kate Otten, obviously because Sam Laporta has a bye week, and I got Mike Evans. So I don't know if both of them are going to get touchdowns because Godwin has been more consistent getting the ball than Mike Evans. But I'm hoping that if Mike doesn't score, that I can still get 14 or 15. And this could be a sleeper game that Kate Otten scores a touchdown. I'm not going to say a touchdown or two, but it is possible. There definitely is going to be a lot of focus, on Godwin and a lot of focus on Evans. But we don't have Jalen McMillan. All our number 3 receivers are a little banged up. Missing a little bit of time. So we'll see where it goes. But hopefully we get at least a 24-20 game minimum. But hell, if it ends up going into the 30s and it ends up being a slugfest back and forth, hey, that's more points in fantasy for people that have the Falcon players. Kirk Cousins, Mooney, Bajan, as well as Drake London with that tutty, as well as Baker Mayfield, right? And then you get guys like who? Bucky Irving, Rachaad White, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Kate Otten. So we'll see where it goes, but not the way that I wanted the game to start. I know Shep is happy. 7-0 Falcons. All right, Tampa, your turn. Let's go, baby. Yeah, but I always do a lot of reading, right? And I believe that Brian Robinson is slated not to play, and that's huge for you because when he had him last week, he put up like 20. So again, you got Purdy, Walker, and Robinson and Kittle are questionable as well as Groupie for him, but I don't think Robinson's going to play. So again, if that's the case, he doesn't have anybody else to plug in because for whatever reason, he's got 4 quarterbacks. He's trying to hoard them all. He's got Tua, Mahomes, Dak, and Purdy, and probably should have ended up getting more running back depth than having 4 quarterbacks. But, if he's 3-1 and he wants to go that route, he can do whatever the hell he wants, right? He's being successful right now, and having 4 quarterbacks is something that's not hurting him, right? But, again, if you don't have Robinson playing, I know Kamara obviously is questionable for you, but, again, you have an opportunity there to, take advantage. And then, obviously, you got a few guys on the bench. I can see one that could end up having a monster day that you may want to insert into your starting lineup as well. But again, that'll be a decision that you will have to make. But again, you have to read, you have to do film study, you have to make sure you're clicking on the names, you have to make sure you're looking at the injury report. But again, with Robinson out, that could be huge. So we'll see where it goes. I think it'll be much closer. I think that if Sarah had Taylor playing, I think her and Reflect, it would have been pretty close. But now, with that injury, that's going to put her probably too far behind unless Reflect's players shit the bed. I think both of your guys' teams, with you, Captain Oreo, as well as, Shep, you guys have good players on both sides. And it's really just going to come down to who's going to end up playing this weekend. And you just got to make sure that you don't leave that one guy on the bench that ends up having a 20-point game. And both of you might end up having a guy that could possibly do that, like a 15 to 20-point game. So just got to make sure your lineup is right. And I definitely could see you, getting the upset win and getting back onto the win column. Go, baby, go! Down the sideline, first down, Bucs. All right, Baker, your turn, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Injuries have been crazy this year. It's been a little unpredictable. And again, a lot of injuries for, a month, 6 weeks, IR. It's one thing if a guy is just injured for a week or two, who cares? As long as you ended up having, good backups. But once you have it more than like 3 weeks or more, that could really do some damage to a team unless you're crafty on the wire or you drafted well or both. Here we go, Baker. Let's start baking. LFB. Let's fucking bake. We had LFG with Tom Brady. Now it's LFB. Let's fucking bake. Let's go, baby. Baker, play action fake. Good protection up front. There we go, baby. Mike Evans, first down, Buccaneers. And this would be great if I could end up having a 20-plus point game out of Mike Evans and like a 10 to 15-point game out of Kate Otten. I need a dub, and I need a dub now. Let's go. Nice job to get Mike Evans the ball right away because Godwin has been kind of the number one this year. Like Evans will still put up those big 2-touchdown, games, but he's also had 2 mediocre, games and 2 awesome games. Godwin has had good games every single week. So hand off to Rachaad White. And Rachaad White is getting very close to being able to be replaced by Bucky Irving, even though they like to be able to do the tandem, but Rachaad White has only been averaging about 2 yards per carry. Now, he still has the ability to put up good numbers. He started off slow last year and in about the first month, and then he picked it up and ended up being like a top 6, top 7 running back in fantasy. But this year, it feels like a little bit of a different story. He didn't have anyone looking over his shoulder like Bucky Irving this year. And if we're really being honest, and it's not just me being a Duck fan, Bucky looked better this year than Rachaad White, and I think he will be. Oh, pass incomplete. Terrell right there. Pass incomplete, 3rd down and 5. Come on, Bucks. But even though Terrell that's a PI. Come on, he bumped him. Come on. But it's different when you go against Patrick Surtain. He might be the best corner in football, and that was a big part of us losing to the Broncos. They came out and punched us in the mouth early and often, and if you end up having one of the best corners in the game, it does eliminate your number 1 or number 2 receiver. Baker? Mike Evans, baby. Is this going to be the Mike Evans game? Let's go. First down, Bucks. They understand the fucking drill. They understand I need points today. Let's go, Mike. First ballot Hall of Famer. And when it's all said and done, people are going to be shocked to look at the numbers that Mike Evans put up with a bunch of quarterbacks, and a bunch of them really weren't that good. I mean, considering he had a good chunk of his career with Jameis Winston. So it's going to be exciting to be able to see him continue his growth and his consistency. Mike Evans, hopefully he's not injured there, down to the sideline. 1st and 10. Man in motion, Chris Godwin. Halfback toss to Rachaad White. Get that block. And good defense there by the Falcons. Drastically improved with Matthew Judon, Justin Simmons, and Jesse Bates III. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall. We got another fucking injury, damn it. All right, let's see where we're at. We're 2 away from 10. There we go. Now we're at 10. 10 more to get to 20. And again, hopefully we can get to 20 and we'll get a few more people hopping in and hanging out, especially if you know that, my team is on. Again, I think it always gets kind of interesting when we have, the game on of, whoever obviously is streaming. You want to be able to see if the team plays well. You want to be able to see that person's reaction to, how the team is looking, or if they're getting beat the fuck up, or if they're, playing well. And again, we're down 7-0 here, but I'm still very confident we can win this game. NFC South, baby. Let's go. Hopefully the injuries are not too significant, but I don't need to be greedy, and try to get 2 touchdowns with Evans and 2 with Otten. That would be like best case scenario on, the sports gods love me. If I can just get some solid points out of both, if I can get 10 points out of Otten and I can get, 14 to 15 minimum out of Mike, that would be great. But then obviously if you can take the 10 from Otten and make it, 14 or 15, best case scenario. And then obviously Mike going from 14 to 15 to 20 to 30, and he can typically do that with just 1 touchdown, depending on the yardage, but we'll see where it goes. But so far, a nice heavy dose of Mike Evans, and hopefully he'll get into the end zone at least once here this evening. Let's go, baby. And then we got the Ducks versus the Spartans tomorrow. Pretty confident we'll be able to win that game, even though we have a lot of weaknesses on the team this year. Definitely, we could make the playoff, but we have 0% chance of, winning the Natty or making a deep, deep run. Again, if you've watched college football this year, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Bama, that's the cream of the crop, and there's just everybody else below them. So unless you end up getting a crazy upset, I don't really see, anybody but those 4 teams. That your natty winner is going to be one of those 4, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, Georgia, ended up getting beat by Alabama. Ohio State is the real deal. We'll see where it goes. But hopefully Oregon doesn't end up losing, many games, but I definitely would assume they'll lose to Ohio State, and they might end up losing another 1 or 2 after that as well. Johnson going off on his own power there. 2nd down and 9. Rashad White, nothing there, and you're not going to get a whole lot, running these type of play calls. Get Bucky Irving in there. Give him a chance. Bucky can give you 5 to 7 yards per carry, and he's shifty. And again, it's a good 1-2 combo to have, even though they're both kind of undersized and small. But again, with Rashad White, he just hasn't lived up to what he did last year. He needs to be better. I mean, I drafted him in fantasy and I cut him, and you got to understand in fantasy, if I pick a player from my own team and I cut him, how painful that is. And the only reason I would cut is if I think that, he's not good enough to be on my roster. There we go. Cade Otton, baby. 1st down, Bucks. Don't be surprised if Cade Otton scores a touchdown today. I got him in the lineup. And again, I had my choice, between a couple other tight ends that were projected for more numbers. But if you look at the fantasy stats, he's been getting about 8-9 targets the last 2 games. He's got good hands. He's an underrated tight end. Baker likes him. We have plenty of weapons that are out there, but that could be the weapon that the Falcons kind of sleep on because they think it's going to go to Evans and Godwin, and it's going to go to Rashad White and Bucky Irving, and they're going to sleep a little bit on Cade, and Cade can get into the end zone, baby. Baker? First down, Chris Godwin. Move the chains. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Let's go. This would be a great opportunity here for Mike Evans, or a little play action to Cade Otton, or you could go back to Godwin as well. I know Elliott's got Godwin, and he's absolutely loved. Godwin has got some of the best hands in the NFL. And again, we have arguably one of the best 1-2 combos in the NFL. I wouldn't want 2 other guys on my team. Even if I had an opportunity, to get Tyreek or Waddle or, all the other different combinations, DK and JSN or Lockett. I mean, there's a lot of, good combos that are out there, but I love Godwin and I love Mike Evans, and thank God they're on my team. Alfred is down to a knee, has to go to the sideline. Let's go, Bucks. Punch it in, baby. Mike Evans. Cade Otton, let's go. Come on, baby. I'm going to have to bust out my my Tampa NFL gloves. I got them in the drawer. I need to bust those out. And shout out to Captain Oreo and Reflect last night for helping us get to a very good number. There we go, baby. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Mike Evans. Woo! Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. My fantasy team thanks you. Let's go. Woo! Yes, that's exactly what I needed, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. Let's see the replay. Man in motion, play action fake. Baker, wide open. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah. Extra point is up, and it's good. Let's go. That's exactly what I needed. Heavy to Mike. Get a little Cade Otton sprinkled in, and I'm going to keep Cade on my roster for the rest of the year. And again, I know there's been a few people that have tried him out. In the first couple weeks, not a whole lot of looks. Last 2 weeks, about 8-9 targets a game. And, if you're going to play a soft zone on Mike Evans, he's going to run a slant, and you're going to get fucking burned. 7-7 Falcons and Bucks. Let's go. Let's go, baby. And I know you ended up getting the Bucks kicker there, McLaughlin. And, we'll see how many field goal opportunities that you will have. I imagine there'll be extra points. And then if you do get a field goal, hopefully for your sake, it'll be a 40 or 50 yarder. That way that if it ends up being like, 3 touchdowns, 1-1-1, and then maybe a 50 yarder, then that way you can at least get to 8. But there is a possibility that there might be a couple field goals. But so far, we got touchdowns. 7-7. Let's go. Well, the thing is, you already have other tight ends. And back when you ended up having them, I mean, let's be honest, all of us are trying different options, right? We're trying Cole Kmet. We're trying Cade Otton. Anytime you end up having a starting tight end and they don't produce, what do? You have to look. And sometimes you have to end up starting a guy that you don't really want to, or you have a tight end, like in your case, that was injured, and you haven't really been able to use Njoku all year. So you were forced, to kind of go that route, And again, it's like, Mark Andrews has been dropped in many leagues. Kyle Pitts, you get a lot of these guys that they haven't lived up, to their reputation. Even Travis Kelce really hasn't really been that good. So if you're really looking at it, like, Brock Bowers, more times than not, he's been pretty good. Trey McBride has been good, but then he's also been banged up a little bit, so he's missed a game. But obviously Bowers and McBride kind of look like maybe the two best besides George Kittle. And now George Kittle's kind of banged up, but again, if I had to choose one, I think that George Kittle, as far as the veteran tight ends, he's the best one this season. He's actually still producing with Brock Purdy. But Mark Andrews, nothing, right? The value, 0. Isaiah Likely is, more of a tight end now than Andrews. Like, we have to study that downfall. Like, how do you go from being like a Hall of Fame tight end to like not even being able to roster in fantasy, let alone start, but not even on a bench? Like, he's not even worth rostering, So, you never really know where it's going to go. But again, sometimes you have to be able to look, at targets. And I know that you and me Reflect, we look at stats and analytics deeper than anybody else. And again, sometimes, a guy like a Cade Otton is going to end up, having a 10 to 15 point game or close to 10. And then there's going to be other games where he's at 0 or like 1 or 2. And, and if you end up starting a player that you're taking a risk on, like a Cole Kmet, with Caleb, or a guy like Cade Otton, sometimes it might end up being fruitful. And other times you're going to be pulling your hair out and saying, fuck, what did I do? But you didn't have any other choice because the tight end position has been very bad this year. But who hasn't been bad? Fucking Baker Mayfield, baby. LFB. Let's fucking bake. Let's go. But I don't think it was dumb to drop Otton, because the thing is, I wouldn't even have picked him up or started him, but I went back and watched the film and to see how many times that he got targeted in the past playing Atlanta. And last year he did score a touchdown. So I'm just looking at, most people aren't going to be me, to be able to dig extra deep, but I have to be able to try to, come to a certain conclusion, and it doesn't mean that since he scored last year that he's going to do it this year, but based on, back-to-back, games of 8 or 9 targets, that was good enough for me to take a chance, on him against Atlanta instead of maybe like a Cole Kmet. But again, like a Cole Kmet could end up getting you 20 points and 2 touchdowns, or he could give you a 0 to 6. and I ended up having to use him for a week, and it really wasn't that fruitful. When you get 6 out of your tight end, it's kind of irritating. But with all things considered, the tight end position has been garbage. So yeah, Justice Hill, all the RB checkdowns. I mean, sometimes it's good to have RB2s, if they can produce. Shotgun set. Cousins, pump fake, get his ass. But we got no Antoine Winfield Jr., so anytime you end up seeing a soft zone or a Tampa 2 and you start seeing some weak tackling, in the back end, that's going to be because Antoine hasn't been playing for like 3 out of the 4 games. So hopefully we'll get him back. But Vita Vea is more important for the defense now rather than Antoine Winfield Jr. because Vita ends up getting that, run stops, and we didn't have him in the Denver game, and obviously we got blown out. So it shows you the impact of a Warren Sapp in 2024 and Vita Vea. We need him. He's the most valuable player on the defense besides Levante David, and obviously Antoine Winfield Jr. pretty valuable as well. First down, Falcons. Matt in the building. What's good? I always have to look at that, those type of numbers. And again, I think that, some people are just going to look at green, neutral, red. They're going to look at name recognition. But if you really want to be good, you have to dig deep and try to be able to find the advantage in any way that you can, based on those stats and analytics. And it still doesn't mean that that's going to happen in that upcoming game, but a lot of times it does. Cousins, little pass into the flat. First down, Atlanta. Oh. You have a photo? You have a photo still somewhere at your house? Well, they're not really going to the tight ends that much anyways. It's a lot of Henry and Zay Flowers, right? And Bateman, and whatnot. But again, yeah, if you're going to grab one or the other, I would say likely is more likely to actually do something. Uh-oh. What do we got? A little trick play here? Mooney. Incomplete. Throws it right to the ref. I'm not sure about that that particular play. All right, take care, Megan. Yeah, and that's one thing about fantasy. When you're, the CEO, you're the boss, you're the manager. You can pick someone up, you can drop them, you got control. So there is no rule stating once you pick a player up, you're forced to keep them for the whole season. Again, you got to be able to make adjustments, week in and week out, to be able to stay competitive, especially with injuries and, elite play in our league. Second down and 10, shotgun set. Cousins. Pass to the sideline, wrap him up. Don't let him go. Drake London. And London obviously has benefited, the most out of anybody on the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk Cousins. They have a good rapport. And obviously, if you saw Desmond Ridder and a lot of the other quarterbacks, you could tell that they weren't good enough. And again, every single year, the quarterback classes get talked up. But it really does show you after about 2 to 4 years pass, after those quarterbacks get drafted, then you really start to see who is going to make it and who actually is a backup quarterback in the NFL. Third down and 5. Hit his ass. Let's coming. Get him. Yeah. What? Vita Vea. Let's go. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a Vita Vea sack lunch. Let's go. Hell yeah. Shows you how important Vita Vea is, baby. Get his ass. You got one-on-one. Nice job, Bajan. What do you think you're going to do? You think you're going to be able to stop Vita? It's like Warren Sapp coming at you full. He didn't even try. Kirk was done, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. That's my boy. I love me some nose tackle, D-tackle action, baby. Fourth down and 14 for Koo. Koo. Kick is up. No good. Yes. Boom. But there's a flag on the play. What happened? Is it on us? Probably on us. Shit. I was about to say that was awesome. Hayes offsides. Come on, sucker. He missed it. Koo barely misses kicks. He's got good range from 40 and 50. Fuck. There was some movement on both teams there on the line. Let's go, sports gods. Kick is up. And he missed that one too. Let's go. Same spot. Let's go. What are the chances of Koo missing 2 kicks in a row? Not often. Wow. I think the sports gods are really trying to help me win today. Thank you so much. And for anyone that's got Koo in fantasy, I'm sorry. Wow. Who's got Koo in our league? Is that Megan? I think she has him on the bench, though. So maybe that won't really hurt her. Let's take a quick peek. Yep. She's got Koo on the bench. And she's got Butker in, so that was smart. Because that would definitely hurt, especially when you have a gimme like that. So anybody that's got Koo, ooh. But she got Butker in, so that's crazy. I mean, for Koo, to miss in general, like if you've watched his career, he kicks kind of like Aubrey on Dallas, like a soccer player. He's got a different type of kind of strategy and technique with his footwork, and he normally is on, you would say 90 to 95% of the time. And so for them to miss one, that's a big deal. But to miss back-to-back kicks after the penalty, then you get 5 yards closer and you miss it in the same spot. I think that might have been one of the first times in his career that he's missed 2 in a row like that. I don't think I've ever seen him do that before, but we'll take it. Hell yeah. Alfred being evaluated. Let's go, baby. Chris Godwin, baby. Let's go. I just had to move like 20 action figures just to be able to open my drawer. All kinds of old school starting lineups and McFarland's. These NFL gloves are dope. They ended up doing them for only like 1 year in 2012. And it was just right around the time when the Ducks ended up doing their wing gloves in 2009, 2010, and 2011. And then the NFL was like, wow, these are cool. We should probably take advantage of this. There we go. Bucky Irving, baby. First down, Buccaneers. Go Ducks. And then they saw, how fresh that the gloves looked on the college side, and then the NFL jumped in and did actually a glove for every NFL team that particular year. So if you are looking for some swag like that I have, if you go on eBay and look it up, you will be able to find team gloves from 2012 there. They're around $100, so it's not like they're super expensive. Obviously, the college ones are more expensive because they're either player worn, game worn, or they're the rare limited edition for the fans back in the day. But the NFL ones are easier to come across. Baker going deep, got a man, incomplete. But I love him. Yes, he is. Yeah, he's made a couple game-winning kicks. Like I said, you could be, if you watch the Falcons this year, like I have, they are 2 plays away from being 4-0 and maybe 2 plays away from being 0-4. Like, they literally could have been in either end of the spectrum. They could be 4-0, if they played cleaner football. And obviously they ended up winning their 2 games late with game-winning field goals. So, they're a couple plays away from being 0-4, a couple plays from being 4-0, and they're in the middle. They're 2-2. So, nice catch by Godwin. Third down and 3. Baker. And Godwin normally is automatic right there. Couldn't hang on. Would have been a good opportunity to go to Cade Otton right there on third down. Kick is up, and it's good. 10-7. There's some fantasy points for you, Reflect. There you go. You get a field goal early from the Godwin rare drop, and then you end up getting the extra point. So you're on your way of somewhere between 8 and 12 points out of McLaughlin, which is a kicker that, honestly, if I had kicker issues or if I was streaming defenses and kicker, which sometimes happens, like if I didn't get Aubrey in the draft, obviously this would be a kicker that would be on my roster probably for a good chunk of the year, either as my starter, or as like a floater, but he's been very good. And obviously, if you know the offense, we're going to score a lot of points. So when you score a lot of points, you just got to hope that it's not just a bunch of extra points, because then you're only going to end up with 4 or 5. You sprinkle in a 40 or 50-yard field goal here and there, and then all of a sudden you're at 10 or more, and that's when you start cooking at kicker. So there you go. Thank you for all of your support and appreciation. Like I said, not very many people would do what you did yesterday for me and Sarah. So I know she's very happy about that. And obviously I appreciate you. And I marked it in my calendar, and, we'll end up, sending that over once I end up getting it. And mine will probably end up just going towards Paisley, just to make sure that she's okay with like food and whatnot. But at some point I hope to be able to get, like maybe a Ducks, hat or beanie or a Kraken. I'm very picky in particular though, with a lot of the stuff that I get. There's a lot of options out there, but I am a little bit of a stickler for fashion and whatnot. Like even this Buck beanie, I had to go through many, many, many different styles, and I still have a lot of my old school merch. Like I have a cutoff vest, sideline vest from 2005, back in like the Chris Sims era, that I still have in the closet. So it's like, once I find something that I like, I try to take care of it and keep it in good shape. And like even like my Derek Brooks is like 25 years old, but it's still hanging on. And again, as long as you take care of your stuff, you can make it last a long, long time. So yeah. And again, you're the only one that would have done that. You know what I mean? And that really makes it special too, because you do recognize how much time and effort and energy, is put in. And obviously just wanting to be a kind individual and to be able to, make her birthday special. So. Little short game for Bajan. Let's go, baby. There we go. Nice gang tackle. Hell yeah. Yaya Diaby, McCollum. It's cool to be able to have like a lower name players, that you don't really have a whole lot of expectations for, and then they end up overachieving and being better than you ever dreamed of. And obviously the standard of Tampa Bay football is Levante David. Little slant there. First down, Falcons. And that is the end of the first quarter, 10-7 Bucs. Let's go. There's going to be a lot, yeah. Yeah, Will Stein, Oregon's OC. That's what you're watching. 10-7 Buccaneers against the Falcons, baby. I like that. Good start. Now I just need Cade Otton to hopefully get, as close to 10 points as possible. I hope that he can get to 10. That would be great. If he gets a touchdown, then I'll just be, just giddy. And I already got one with Mike Evans. So, again, just trying to be able to, get back into the thick of things with everything. But, for someone like Chief will Chief, he's got Drake London, right, as well as Mooney. And again, he originally drafted A.J. Brown and Puka, so that's a big downgrade. But lately, Cousins has been getting the ball to both of those guys like pretty frequently, and you wouldn't think that you would still be able to compete in fantasy with that kind of drop-off. But again, if they're getting targets and they're, getting big first downs, getting the yards, occasionally a touchdown here and there, you can still kind of stay afloat. And he did a good job, which, at the moment, I don't know if people recognized it, but when he ended up drafting back-to-back Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels, that was a blessing in disguise. I don't think he knew how good Jaden was going to be. And maybe didn't know that Jordan Love was going to get hurt. But that's a nice 1-2 combo for quarterbacks. And even as good as Jordan Love is, Jaden Daniels is a guy that you can't bench. The way that he's playing right now, offensive rookie of the year is either Jaden Daniels or Neighbors. And obviously they went to LSU. They're both competing for the award. They both are balling out. And it's nice to be able to see guys, take the next step even in their rookie season. I mean, who would have really thought the Commandos would be 3-1 like the Buccaneers? And again, we ended up beating them week 1, but it kind of shows like, if you can have the right scheme and the right players. And again, they've never had a franchise quarterback either. Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback that they've had since Alex Smith. Prior to that, Mark Rippon. Prior to that, Joe Theismann. So again, they've gone a long time, without a good, solid franchise QB. And I think Jaden's going to be better than Alex Smith. Even though we already know his story with his injuries and whatnot, but I think Jaden Daniels is going to be like legit their first franchise QB that I think everyone can be happy with. And he makes Washington like worth watching now, which a lot of times we didn't give a shit about Washington, right? Even though they should go back to the Redskins instead of the Commandos, but he's fun to watch. Now he needs to get a little bit better, obviously with his arm. He's got it with his legs, but he is essentially the NFC version of Lamar Jackson. And that's cool. I like being able to see that. Play action fake. Get his ass. Get him, Vita. Chase his ass. Incomplete towards the sideline. Yeah, he's a beast. He is a beast. Sounds like he's going to be out this weekend for Shep, though. Shep definitely took advantage and punched me in the mouth with him. He put up 20, And again, when you got a guy like Jaden Daniels, again, everyone else is going to be able to get better. Now, maybe some of the receivers like Scary Terry and a few others haven't really been able to match the production of Robinson and Jaden Daniels yet. But still, it's a good sign if you're a fan of that team. It's been hell, being a fan of that team and that roster, and being one of the most dysfunctional. In the air, incomplete. So good for them. They got a flag. That's going to be PI on Tampa, I would assume. And it makes me, kind of regret, passing on some of these guys. And again, I know that I should be picking, rookies, for fantasy, but sometimes, you see other, bigger name established players, and it's kind of a risk because you just don't know if you're going to get an amazing player or if you're going to get a player that gets hurt or if they end up being a bust, and it's like when you have to really hit, in the fantasy draft, I mean, it is a little bit of a risk, but I mean, if you take that risk and then it pays off, which it typically does for a few rookies in fantasy, that could be the difference between you making the playoffs or not by having a guy like a Jaden Daniels. First down and 10, handoff. Algier bouncing it to the outside. Strip that. Flag on the play. That might be a hold. That's holding, baby. Bring that back. Matt's trying to figure out Oh Doggy Dog's collection. I mean, you got to understand, bro. I'm 42. I've been collecting since I was 5. 95% of my collection is still in the box. So, I had a Michael Jordan PSA 9 rookie that is now worth 20 to 30,000. So, and obviously sold that for this dream. So, but I don't really have, that was a kind of a one-off type thing. I was smart, back when I was 21, and I ended up, having a good paying job that I just left, and I had 10 crisp $100 bills, and I thought to myself, I need to invest in a Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, or a Michael Jordan. And Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle, I can't afford a rookie for $1,000 with those guys. And luckily, the economy was down in LeBron's rookie year, and that Jordan rookie was worth $2,500. And I won an auction on eBay in 2003 and only had to pay $1,000. And I got the Jordan, and now it's worth $20,000 to $30,000. So, if you're smart and you can, you know what to look for. Nice pass, first down, Falcons. But I got things in multiple places. So, happy birthday. I sent you a message on Twitter/X. Happy birthday. Texas Roadhouse sounds delicious. But I mean, I got toys on toys on toys. I mean, I do like collecting sports cards and magazines and posters, but toys is probably my favorite. Just because I was not that rich growing up, kind of lower to middle class. And, I had a few things, but again, I think it's one of those things like you kind of try to compensate for when you get older, if it's part of you, who you are. So I love starting lineups and McFarlane's and bobbleheads and wrestling figures and Ninja Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joes, just anything I know that if I needed money, I could, open up a store. But, like 40-year-old virgin, I mean, I got the goods, but, a lot of it is sentimental, and I just like looking at that, being surrounded around my collection. Holding on the offense, bring that back, baby. Happy birthday, Sarah. Ooh, steak, salad, baked potato, green onion, blossom rolls, and with some ice cream. That sounds good. Happy birthday. Let's go, Bucks. We need a defensive play, bang. Let's go. First down and 20. Shotgun set. Cousins. Short game. (10-7) Tampa. Let's go, baby. Shotgun set on 2nd and 14. Cousins. Good defense there by Levante David, my boy. Levante should be a Hall of Famer as well. Talk about consistency. And I was hoping that, Devin White would be able to fall into his footsteps. But again, he ended up having too much of an ego, wanted to get out and go to Philadelphia. Then he ended up getting his wish. He got benched. We ended up putting in other individuals that wanted to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ended up signing with Philadelphia, and he has been a bench warmer. Hasn't even played in like 4 games. So be careful what you wish for. If you ended up just playing, passes deep, touchdown Falcons. Wow. Mooney with the tutty. Wow. Chief getting points. Mooney. Oh, my. And crazy to think if you got both, right? If you got like a guy like Cousins that is going to go to both guys, or like someone like Baker that will go to Godwin and Evans. Like, every game, Mooney and Drake London are going to produce. It's very rare that they both don't produce, even though they're 2-2. But again, a couple plays from being 4-0, a couple plays from being 0-4. What a catch into triple coverage. What a throw by Cousins. Extra point by Koo is good. Wow. If Antoine Winfield Jr. was there, guess what? That probably doesn't get completed. That probably ends up getting jarred out or picked off. But no Antoine Winfield Jr. for the Buccaneers. Extra point is up, and it's good. Looks like we might have a good high-scoring affair here today. Great throw by Kirk. Way to go up and get it at the high point right there. And Mooney, at one point or another, was a pretty good player, right, in Chicago, and had to find, obviously, a quarterback that could get him the ball, and obviously much better than Desmond Ridder. Nice job, 14-10 ATL. But I'm not worried. We can still bounce back, baby. Let's go. And obviously on the thumb, I had to hit you with the Mike Evans and the Bajan. Let's go, baby. Mooney is money. Yeah, but I just like being surrounded, around the collection, and I don't regret, selling the Jordan. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get another one. Probably won't be able to afford a 9, but maybe like a PSA 8, like one, grade lower would be a cool thing. But, sometimes you got to sacrifice, things for your dreams. And, I think it was kind of like one of those things that it was kind of my destiny, that I was able to get something super valuable for super cheap, and ended up having that item for, 13, 14 years. But also on the flip side, when you own something that's that expensive and rare, then there's a little bit of a fear, that it's going to either get stolen or something's going to happen to it, whether you keep it in a bank vault, or if you keep it at your house. Like, it's cool to have like an expensive item like that, but it also, makes you a little nervous and whatnot. And obviously, if I didn't have any dreams or goals, I would still own that today. And obviously, when Jordan passes, that card will be over 100,000. And again, I could always invest in a house, a car, a business. But again, I invested in myself, and I have no regrets. And again, I'll be able to make, the amount of money back that what it's worth, 20 to 30,000. I'll be able to make that back, and already, on my way, obviously, since I've been full time. So sometimes you got to be able to pull the trigger and make a tough decision, but again, if you are investing in yourself, again, you want to make sure you're betting on yourself. You only live once, right? Tampa. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Yes. What a return. First down, Bucs. That was sick. Let's go. I don't think anything yet, but, we'll see where we go as the stream goes on. Obviously, we had some amazing efforts yesterday by Reflect and Captain Oreo trying to chip in as well, so. Great return there. Tucker, beast, man. the big 4-4. Whenever I see 4-4, you think of guys like a Rathman, from back in the day. Like, there's not a lot of guys that you really remember rocking the 4-4. Little play action fake. Baker, my guy. Kate Otten, baby. Go, go, go. Yeah, baby. First down, Bucs. Let's go. I'm 100% confident. I know the defense obviously is playing a soft zone, and Kirk will be able to sling it in there, and I got no Antoine Winfield Jr., but I am 100% confident we can win this game. At some point, the defense will tighten up after some adjustments by the coaching staff. And again, I still think that we're going to win this game. It's probably not going to be a blowout on either side unless there ends up being a pick six or like a game-changing play. But we can go back and forth with anybody. You got to think, we beat the Commandos week 1. They're 3-1. We beat the Lions in Detroit, so we're not afraid, right? We ended up beating the shit out of the Eagles. Yeah, we lost to the Broncos. No Vita Vea, no Antoine Winfield Jr., and they just played well. So again, there's no excuse for that Bronco loss. But again, it happens, right? Anybody can beat anyone on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. But I feel that Tampa is the better team. I feel that we're going to win the NFC South again this year, 4 years in a row. I do respect the Falcons and the Saints, and hopefully the Panthers will be good one day. But again, just got to be able to get a pass rush, and then the secondary needs to play a little bit better. And maybe my guy McCollum can get a key pick, or something to be able to help out, that back end. 2nd down and 11. Let's go, baby. Floater. My guy. Touchdown, Mike Evans. I'm winning in fantasy, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Mike Evans, baby. It's the Mike Evans Show. Sports gods, you love me? Yes, you do. Reflect with a $5. There we go, baby. Mike Evans with 2 tutties. I'm telling you, here I come. Here I come. Let's go. I'm telling you, once I end up getting to 3-3, I'm going to catch up to everybody in the league. You watch. Even if I have no Christian McCaffrey all year, as long as I get Cooper Kupp by week 7, 8, or 9, if I can end up getting that and I can keep working the wire, I can keep working the right combination of guys, extra point is up and it's good. Let's go. Mike Evans, 2 tutties, getting me the fantasy points. Kate Otten, getting me some points. Let's go, baby. Ooh. Let's go, baby. Yeah. I think that will come back to bite you a little bit, and I'm not going to let him go. He's on my roster. Obviously, you already know, and I know, Zamir White was an interesting player last year, but that was the player that you should have dropped, and you already know that. And then, obviously, with Zach Moss, he's only had 1 bad game, 3 good ones. Again, he's splitting carries with Chase Brown, and the Bengals really aren't that good, and they're going to be down in a lot of games. So unless he's going to get some screens and being able to get some touches that way, when they're down by a lot, that might mean that they fade, Chase Brown as well as Zach Moss, because they're going to be throwing the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and trying to catch up. But at least for the time being, it's been pretty beneficial for me. But again, I think that happens, with both of us. I'll pick up a player, I'll drop him. Reflect, you'll pick him up. You pick up a player, you drop him, I get him, vice versa. So again, sometimes it's hard to be able to make a decision, especially when you're in need and you're just going based off your gut and you have a kind of an idea on how things are probably going to go. But based on what Zamir White, did at the end of last season, it's not like, that was like, a no-brainer. Like, you didn't really know. And if I was in your shoes, I would have really been torn too on who to let go. Because at some point, you're not going to be able to roster, 8, 9 running backs. I tried to hoard, a lot of the running backs early on. But again, I didn't address some of the weaknesses that I had, and I got, beat up for it. So eventually, instead of hoarding all the running backs, you got to be able to improve your tight ends, your quarterback, your wide receivers. And, but here we come, baby. Here we come. Telling y'all, once I get to 3-3, I got Matt next week. And again, I just need my guys to get healthy. I definitely did not expect to be 1-3, but you watch. If I can get into a little bit of a groove, I can come back. And I don't know if I'll be able to get to 4th place, but you bet your ass I'm going to try. And I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to try to get to that 4th place spot, even though that would probably mean I'd have to face Reflect in the playoffs in the first week and probably get blasted. But just to get there would be huge, considering 1 in 3 teams typically, they say that I'm the worst team in the league. That's what the app is saying. They say I'm the worst, based on what's happened to me up to this point. I only have a 13% chance to make it. Well, that number just fucking went up. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Britt in the building. How are you? Reflect with a 5-er. Oreo with a 7-er. Appreciate you. Britt in the building. How are you? Love you. Miss you. Let's go, baby. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. A little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Now I just need Kate Otten to get in the end zone, baby. Let's go. $7 holla. Woohoo. Niners and Seahawks. Throwback unis incoming in that game. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. A little cactus jack. Bang, bang. I believe you guys are wearing the throwbacks on that game or the next time that you play them. I don't know, like Thanksgiving or Christmas. I know you guys got a matchup. Maybe you're wearing them then. Or it's either next week or it's on the holiday. But I know you guys are wearing the throwbacks against the Niners. Let's go, baby. We're at 12, 88 to go. Yeah, again, there's a lot of teams that obviously could use him, but again, you have to have the money. And there's not a very many teams that have enough money to afford him. But, I think he wants to play with Carr or Aaron Rodgers. That's where his preferred choice would be, to play with his friend, one that he had obviously in the NFL with Aaron Rodgers, or going with his college teammate at Fresno State with obviously Derek Carr. Cousins, your turn. 17-14 bucks, baby. Kyle Pitts, first down, Falcons. Judah in the building. What's good? It happens, though. It happens. I mean, I had to fucking drop Rachaad White, and you know how difficult it is to draft someone in the top 3, and I have to drop him, and that's my guy? You got to understand, like, when you're a fan of a team and you draft a player, how, and again, I know he started off slow, last year, and then ended up being a top 6, top 7 fantasy running back, but again, he didn't have anyone over his shoulder like Bucky Irving, and when you're only averaging about 2 yards a carry, and Bucky's averaging 5 to 7, at some point, Bucky will be the starter for the Bucs, but that was a pretty painful thing, but it hasn't really come back to bite me. And again, I have plenty of other running backs to kind of fill the need, but that one, it happens, man. Sometimes you just got to trust your gut, and sometimes you're going to be wrong. Unfortunately, fantasy is one of those things, no matter how much research or reading or film you do, sometimes you're going to fuck up, leaving a guy on the bench that scores 20 or 30, or cutting a guy too early because you're impatient. But again, sometimes when you're losing, you have to make drastic moves. I've had to blow up my fucking roster every week. I put in 12 recommendations on the wire. I have never put in 12. I had 5 openings. I blew up my whole team, to be able to make changes to make it better. And sometimes you have to do drastic things to be able to turn your shit around. And here I am. Let's go. Thank you, Judah. But again, the Commandos would be a good fit, but that's not, probably Devontae's ideal choice. But it would definitely make them even more dangerous. Obviously, the Jets could use them. The Saints could use them. Chiefs could use them. I mean, there's a lot of teams. Anybody could use them. Uh-oh. Ball is loose, but I think that's just incomplete. But, if we're really being honest, Devontae Adams could, go to any team and help them. But again, the team has to have the money. And again, against the cap, it was going to be something very large, I believe, 25, 30, 35 million. So again, if you feel that, Max Crosby, because a guy was saying that like Max Crosby and a few of the players called out Devontae, and obviously he had the hammy and whatnot. And again, if you're, if you don't want to be somewhere, again, at some point or another, a team will give up on you, and they're going to try to get the best value they can. Grounding, baby. Yeah. And obviously Devontae and Max Crosby, are identical. They're Hall of Famers on both sides of the ball. They hustle and they play hard every game, but also too the frustration of losing, his quarterback and just not being happy after that happened, even though he publicly won't say that. That was a big thing. And as soon as Carr got traded and left, he didn't want to play on that team anymore. I really feel that, And again, not everyone is going to be able to make their own decisions on where they get to play or who they get to play with. The NFL is a business, right? Even though this is a game that we all love, right? So we'll see what happens. But again, there's not very many teams that can afford Davante Adams and the hit to the cap and the money that they have. I think there's only like 5 or 6 teams that legit have enough money that if they would have to be interested, and then they would also have to give up, some of their future draft picks, and some teams are not willing to do that. Previous play is under review. Yeah, and obviously that hamstring, anytime you end up having a hammy, it will definitely take a little bit more time. So, it's funny. I was going to grab him. He was on my list out of my 12 players. I had to try to just grab as many, pieces that I could, to get more depth, at the wide receiver position, running backs, tight ends. And again, you and me typically have a rule where we normally aren't going to have too many defenses or too many kickers. Sometimes we'll stream kickers every week or stream defenses every week, unless we end up having a piece that's worth keeping. And again, you wanted Aubrey. I wanted Aubrey. And again, you had him last year. I got him this year. And I had to make sure that I ended up getting a piece. And a lot of times, you don't necessarily want to just have one person all year. But Aubrey was the best kicker last year. I had a feeling that he would be the best this year. He is. He's the number 1 kicker. And again, accuracy, deep range. And again, with defenses, we both have streamed pretty much. We haven't had 2 or 3 defenses on the roster. We make sure to have more running backs and wide receiver depth instead of covering 2 kickers or 3 defenses. And in the past, I would roll that strategy depending on if my position was weak. 3 tight ends, 2 or 3 defenses, maybe 2 kickers. But again, I ended up getting the Broncos D, which is probably the most underrated defense in fantasy. They're number 2 overall. I'm going to keep them the rest of the year. And again, I don't even necessarily have to stream defenses anymore. The Broncos may not have a great record, but again, I've been following their defense since week 1 to be able to see how good they are before I pulled the trigger. And the Denver Bronco defense, 11.3 points per game for Matt's Broncos. Game 1 against Seattle, 26 points given up, still got to 10, right? Against Pittsburgh, only 13, right? Got 7 points there, a little bit lower, but 7 is still acceptable. Played Tampa Bay, held them to 7, 16 points, and then played the Jets, held them to 9, and got 12. So 10, 7, 16, and 12. And that's a huge advantage in fantasy when you can have a team like that might not be great on offense with Bo Nix yet, but Patrick Surtain and that defense is legit. And I'm very happy that I got, obviously, that Bronco D, because it was either that or trying to get Justin Fields. But with Captain Oreo, obviously having quarterback issues like myself, I already knew that he was going to get Fields. So the next best thing for me would be able to get a defense that I can have for the rest of the year. And there may be another one that I pick up while Denver has a tough matchup. But Denver is showing, regardless of who they play, they can still get 7 or more, and most of the time 10 or more, and that's legit. We got an injury down there on the Bucs. Get up. But the thing is if Davante Adams ends up going to like the Jets, right, and then Aaron Rodgers starts feeding him the ball heavy, then Davante Adams' value goes up, right, depending on where he goes. So, or if Carr gets him on Nolans Saints, that could be the thing that gets them back into the NFC South race, because obviously the Ruiz, the center, is out for almost half the year, and they have some injuries on defense. So they won the first 2 games. They've looked bad the last 2. But if you end up getting Davante Adams on the Saints with Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara, that could be huge. I mean, obviously they need that center to be back. That's more important, but that could be huge fantasy implication-wise. Davante is always going to be a good player when healthy, but you already got a couple good receivers on your team, and we'll see where it goes. See what happens. He gets rolled up on. Ugh. Tyke Smith from Georgia, baby. Get up, baby. We're at 12, 88 to go. Everyone wish Sarah a happy birthday if you guys have not already. We would greatly appreciate that. A few more likes at 20. Let's get there. And And let me know what photos you guys are looking for. 3rd and 14. Get his ass. Screen pass. Algier, get him. My guy, Levante David. You know, it's kind of funny, too, with the whole Devin White fiasco, you know, with him giving up on the team and then getting benched and then wanting to be on Philadelphia and liking their social media posts and then actually getting signed by Philly and now not playing. They're talking about special teams or not playing at all. Why not come back to Tampa? I'm not sure if the Bucs would want him back after he treated us that way, you know, but if he apologized and actually started working hard, you know, we would take him back, you know, and you could probably get him cheap. You know, but for a guy to be one of the best linebackers in the game, kick us up, and it's good. We got a good one here. 17-17 all, baby. I love it. 54-yarder for Koo to make up for that missed field goal earlier. That's more of Koo's style. Right there, 5 fantasy points. There you go. I appreciate that. And we got Law & Order, the regular one, which I don't really like. Law & Order SVU debuts. And then another one of my favorites, Law & Order Organized Crime, which I think is better than the original Law & Order that's debuting tonight, has got moved to Peacock, obviously through the streaming service, because most people are watching it there, but they haven't you know, given a time when that is going to be up. But you know, I was really excited because when I originally saw the post, I thought I was going to get SVU, which I absolutely love, and Organized Crime, but Organized Crime got moved to a streaming platform so they can make more room, obviously, for other NBC shows. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting some SVU. And again, what an amazing cast, you know, for a drama. It's the best drama on TV, and it's been fucking money for the last 24 years. If you are looking for something like that to watch, highly recommend. There's never a bad episode. You know, the cast is fucking phenomenal. It is so good. 17-17 Bucs and Falcons. What a good one here. You know, maybe we'll end up getting into the 30s, baby. Let's go. Elliot in the building. Double E. What's good, brother? Congratulations on your Padres. Next step, Dodgers. Can't wait, man. It's like a piece of me is rooting for your Padres just based on what I said at the beginning of the year, and it's your team. Nice tackle. And then a piece of me is rooting for my dad, you know, obviously with the Dodgers and, you know, kind of the problems they've had the last couple of years to see if they can do it with Shohei. But again, either way, it's going to be fucking electric. This is really what got Baker the 1-year prove-it deal with Tampa. Sean McVay obviously was fantastic in Baker's development to get his swag and aura back. And again, you know, to go from the Browns, shit organization, right? Then the Panthers, they gave up, right? They had Sam Darnold there as well. But again, just because an organization gives up on you, right, for quarterback development doesn't mean the quarterback gives up. Go, baby, go. There we go, Bucky. First down, Bucks, move the chains. You know, and again, now to be able to see Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks statistically, that's pretty special. So again, you know, I feel franchises fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail franchises. But again, you got to have a good owner, good GM, good OC, good offensive line, good supporting cast. And again, you have to be able to believe, and they have to be able to believe in you. And I know Sam Darnold obviously is living his best life for Minnesota, and we are living our best life with Baker, baby. Shotgun set. Uh-oh, look at Rashad, baby. Look at Rashad. Go, baby, go. Go, Rashad, go. The 40, the 30. Hezzy. Stiff arm. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Well, normally they go to Godwin heavy. You know, that's usually the case in the first, 4 weeks. 2 weeks, it's been Mike Evans heavy. And then 2 games where, it's been not very good stat line, like 6-7 points. But then today they went immediately to Mike Evans. And you can kind of tell where they're going to go based on who gets the first catch of the game, and who's going to be the impact guy. And based on Evans already getting 2, because they want me to win in fantasy and get back to my winning ways, there is a chance that Godwin gets in the end zone in the second half, or maybe here before halftime. Look at Bucky, baby! And this is the best offensive weapons that we've had, right? You got Rashad White, you got Bucky Irving, you got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan is injured, Kate Otten. Baker is succeeding because our offensive line is good with Graham Barton and Tristan Wirfs, but this is the best weaponry that we've had in a long time. And honestly, Bucky Irving should be starting over Rachaad White. I mean, and that's not a duck thing. That's just just based on stats, yards per carry and who looks better on the field, and it's not like I think Rachaad White should be benched, but we'll see where it goes. Here we go. 1st and goal. Hand off to Bucky. Ooh, gets blasted. Nice tackle. Chief in the building. What's good? I see your Drake London Mooney combo is lighting it up. And again, you deserve it. For a person that was in last place that drafted Puka and A.J. Brown back-to-back and had both of them injured, same impact of me losing CMC and Cooper Kupp, and then to be able to get 2 receivers on the same team, which is risky, but you got Kirk Cousins, and I know you believed in him, and look at that. You're starting to, get some nice points out of those guys. Here we go, baby. Give me Kate Otten or Mike Evans, baby. Man in motion. Go all the way. Shotgun set for Baker. And good defense there by the Falcons. Oh, yeah. Bucky's amazing, bro. Again, I wish we had Bucky at Oregon. I'd feel a hell of a lot better about the team if we had him there, with Dylan Gabriel. Again, I feel like a lot of our players are backups. And it would, it's one thing to lose like Bo and Troy Franklin, but if we still had Bucky there, we would be 10 times better than we are right now. Again, it's like we got running backs, but they're not the same as Bucky. 2nd and goal. Come on, Tampa. Let's go, baby. We're going with the trifecta with Mike Evans. What are we doing here? Baker is going to run it himself. Usually we got trips left. Maybe Baker will, let's see what he does. In the flat, he's open, and good tackle. Kate Otten, hello. Because obviously they're going to be looking in the flat. They already know Mike Evans has got 2 tutties. Godwin obviously is an obvious choice, but if you get Kate Otten in the game, no one's going to expect him to go and get that ball. Kate Otten. It's a great Thursday night game. Is it the best Thursday night game so far in the year? I think it is. Yeah. Especially if you already saw what London did with Desmond Ridder, but you probably didn't have any idea that Mooney was going to be this good. But again, if you have 2, capable receivers that actually get enough targets a game, then like Mooney, then and he ends up playing like he did in Chicago and even better. Like, that grab that he had for a touchdown was amazing. That was in triple coverage, dude. So again, anything is possible. And again, I feel like the sports gods, they kind of felt sorry, for what happened. It's like, you end up drafting Puka and A.J. Brown in your first 2 picks, and they both go down. Like, how do you survive from that? And in the beginning, you didn't. You ended up hitting a wall and being in last place. But then, just fighting back, and obviously having Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love is a big part of your resurgence, as well as having other guys that have stepped up. But again, if you look at your roster on paper, other teams in the league, they'll be like, oh, I can beat him. It's not that special. But if you actually click on the names and look at the production of Chiefs players after those injuries occurred, it's pretty impressive. It almost makes me kind of like, damn, I should have tried to maybe grab a Mooney. But again, also doubling up is risky. But when you end up having 2 people, just like if you were going to go, if you were able to, Godwin and Evans, you're going to be able to score points. And obviously, Mooney and Drake London isn't as sexy as Evans and Godwin. Evans and Godwin are like Hall of Fame players. Mooney and London are not. But obviously, it shows you Cousins likes them. They're very capable. And, Kyle Pitts owners aren't really getting a whole lot. But I guarantee Darnell Mooney fantasy owners are fucking living their best life. Zay in the building. What's good? Yeah, the Mets weren't even deserving, or the Braves. It probably should have been the Diamondbacks. They ended up scoring the most runs, and they didn't even get in. And it kind of makes you wonder, if Seattle would have got in, maybe we would have been able to upset a team like the Royals as well. Like, if you just get into the dance, you never know what could happen. All this hype for the Astros, all the hype for the Orioles, and again, you just never know what can happen, until you actually get into the postseason. So. Touchdown, Buccaneers, Shepard. It wasn't Cade Otton, but they went to that other option. And obviously, Double E is like, Godwin. Mike Evans already got 2 tutties. It would have been better if it was Cade Otton. Cade Otton touchdown in the second half, but I'll take it right here, baby. Bang, bang, bang. And it's funny because Captain Oreo, when I was losing, he's like, you think you actually can win this game? Yes, I can. And then 5 seconds later, Mike Evans with a tutty, and boom, Shepard with a tutty. Bringing back his time from the Giants. What you know about Sterling Shepard? No Jalen McMillan, no fucking problem. Baker is fucking baking. Stop sleeping on my guy, all right? Top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now with Sam Darnold. Let's go. Let's go. I'm still waiting for that Cade Otton tutty, but I'll take it. Telling y'all, if my defense can get healthy, Tampa might actually be able to make a deep run this year. I'm not saying they're a lock for the NFC Championship game, but, depending on how things go, who knows how far the Vikings or the Bucs could go. And again, there's a lot of other teams that are going to be talked about. Niners, Hawks. There's going to be a lot of these other teams that are going to be discussed. But don't be sleeping on the Vikings. Don't be sleeping on the Bucs. Let's go, baby. Baker is baking, baby. Let's go. Baker Mayfield already got 17 points, and it's not even fucking halftime. 131 yards and 3 tutties. And again, it's all about system, belief, but also, too, offensive line, giving you time to be able to go through the progressions. And if we're being honest, if you're looking at our weapons that we have on the offense, we have just as good of weapons as any other team in the NFL. I mean, we got 2 good running backs, right? We got 2 awesome wide receivers that are Hall of Famers. We got a tight end that's not talked about enough. We ended up drafting a center out of college that can play center, guard, or tackle, even over Jackson Powers Johnson. You got Tristan Wirfs up front. Things are looking pretty good. And again, we don't even have Antoine Winfield Jr. yet. And imagine once we have him back there and we can get a little bit healthier on that side of the ball. Watch out. Because obviously the defense is a little bit of the bugaboo. And when you go against an offensive-minded team like Atlanta, again, there's going to be times where you're going to give up points. But Baker is baking. And, I think if we can play like this, there's a good chance that not only we can win the NFC South 4 years in a row, but we might be able to win a couple playoff games and, maybe make the NFC Championship game. And if you make the NFC Championship game, anything can happen. Not saying that this is a Super Bowl year for us, but, if you would have asked me in week 1, I would say, no, we got 0% chance for NFC Championship game or Super Bowl. Now, in week 5, it's still early, but we're definitely looking like one of the strongest teams in the NFC and in the NFL. Cousins, your turn. Pass incomplete. Ray McLeod. Yeah, D-back scored the most runs, Yeah, and I know, man. It's just brutal. What could have happened with the Diamondbacks and Mariners if we would have got in, right? Yeah, man. I mean, you got to understand. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people doubting. Nice catch. Oh, a little spin move. First down, Falcons. Move the chains. And obviously, I always keep it real. I always keep it real with my teams, whether it's the Bucks or the Ducks or the Mariners, Blazers. I'm always going to crack him. When the team is good, you're going to know. When the team is bad, you're going to know. I'm never going to sugarcoat shit. I'm always going to be honest and real, even if it ends up being painful, like the woes that we had with the Mariners and the hitting. We didn't shy away from that. The Ducks having a bunch of backups at running back and wide receiver and not being good enough up front on the line. Defense pretty good, but we're pretenders. We're not contenders. We're definitely going to get smashed by Ohio State, and we might be able to make the playoff, but this team is nowhere near where we were last year. Not even close. Not even the same fucking atmosphere. Not even the same solar system. It's a huge downgrade. But again, hopefully it'll get better as the years go on recruiting-wise, and we get a better quarterback. Now, if Dylan Gabriel was like Michael Penix Jr., we'd be a hell of a lot better right now. But instead, we have a poor man's Tim Tebow which he still is one of the top 10 quarterbacks, but he doesn't have that smoothness back there. He's still one of the best players on the team, but it ain't no Michael Penix Jr., I'll tell you that. 24-17, Bucks. Chief with a tenner. Appreciate you. Cousins. There we go. Good tackle. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. But it definitely looks like Baker is going to finish in the top 5 or 10 in the fantasy ranks. I mean, who knows how high he could get? I mean, there is a chance that he could end up being a top 3 quarterback in fantasy, especially with Bucky Irving, Rashad White, right? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Kate Otten, and Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard. Like, if you look at the roster of weapons, it's pretty amazing, man. Best offense we've ever had. I mean, even besides when we had Tom Brady, slinging it to those guys. Yeah, he's not as good as Tebow. Tebow is better. He was better in college, better leader, and obviously was a better runner with the football. So you might not understand, but, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I've been watching Oregon Duck football since the 80s, and, this team ain't it. Nice job by Ray McLeod. Honestly, I wish we had Tim Tebow over Dylan. That would have been much better. We would definitely be a much better team right now. Well, pass to the outside. First down, Falcons. And if you don't agree, watch Swamp Kings. And then you'll totally understand how good Tim Tebow really was when he was at Florida. 24-17, Buccaneers. Koo getting set up for a field goal. Will he make it or miss it? Obviously, had a penalty. Missed the first one. Then ended up trying for his second attempt, missed that one, same spot, but then ended up getting a 50-yarder to get at least 5 points for Koo fantasy owners. Come on, Bucks, we need a play. First down and 10, Cousins. Oh, almost picked. Incomplete. Otten with 5.7, Mike with 20.9. Let's go. Look at London and Mooney, but Chief has been getting that all season. That's what happens. It's sometimes it's like you don't really think that Mooney is going to be able to put up a good enough numbers because he's kind of a lower name receiver, but Cousins loves him. You just have to watch Atlanta Falcon football games. Oh baby, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for the Buck sack lunch. Yum 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 yum. Let's go. You don't want to be a delusional Duck fan, though, too, thinking that we're better than we are. Again, you're young, bro. You've only been watching Duck football for a couple years. I've been watching it for over 30. So, you may have a hard time, understanding that this team ain't it, but it's the truth. Instead of trying to act like we're a national championship contender when we're not, you got to be honest with yourself, and you got to be honest with what you're watching. We're not in the same category this year as Ohio State or Bama or Georgia or Texas. We're just not. We were overranked and overrated. Simple as that. You can either accept it or deny it. If you want to live in denial, go right ahead. But, I mean, again, maybe in the future our team will be better, but this team ain't it, man. 3rd and 18. Takes a real man to be able to admit, that shit ain't it. Cousins? Pass incomplete. Don't be mad that I'm speaking the truth. I mean, it's not ideal when you have a favorite team that's not good, but here we are. We'll win. We'll win tomorrow against Michigan State, but this team is not as good as you think they are. 4th down and 18. 24-17, Tampa. Now that's a statement meaning you're in denial mode. Pinion back to punt. Fair catch by Johnson. Let me check. I don't think so. No, nothing in there. But maybe we'll get one before the stream ends. 24-17, Tampa. This is a great fucking game for a first half. Best fucking Thursday night game so far in the season. I mean, this could have ended up being the final score, and I would have been happy, with a score like this. But we'll see where it goes. Hopefully we get a few more tutties here before the game ends. Now, excuses. It's not that we're in the Big Ten, and it's not that too fast, too physical. It's personnel. It's the players. We don't have good players. Come on, bro. Watch the film. You're a film guy. You watch plays all day. The players are not as good. And it's like you look at what we had last year, and to be able to get to that point compared to what we have this year, it's not even close. It's like going from watching a varsity team to a fucking JV Pop Warner team or a freshman team. That's the best way to, be able to make the comparison. I mean, we're nowhere near. Like, if you had that roster last year go against this team this year, they would get absolutely fucking obliterated. If you had last year's Ducks team go against this year's Ducks team, it's not even in the same fucking stratosphere. It's not even close. But it's all good, bro. If you want to be in denial mode, that's completely fine. But again, it's more than just, the OC not calling, plays and, just being vanilla. You got to be able to have the personnel, and we don't. And plus, we were the best conference fucking last year. Like, besides Michigan and Ohio State, they got Penn State. And then in the middle will be like Wisconsin and Iowa. We were the best fucking conference last year. So you might have some teams that have some physical players, but if you actually go back and look at all the Pac-12 teams that were good, we would have beat the brakes off a lot of those Big Ten teams last year. It's not like we were the worst conference in football last year. We were the best. Facts. Halftime, 24-17, Buccaneers. Oh, Alonzo. Oh, Derrick Henry. Well, maybe Genty will get it, even though they like to favor quarterbacks. But, I'd rather see him win it than Milroe, but, or Shedeur Sanders or any of those other guys. But we'll see where it goes. Great first half, baby. Let's go. Anything photo-wise that I can get for the people that donated, let me know, and I got you. Captain Oreo, you got anything specific that you want? You want some Huskies or anything like that? Yeah, and I try to watch all of your guys' games too. I try to watch the Huskies, the Cougs, the Beavers. I always try to make sure I'm watching everything that they got going on. Okay, that's what I like to hear. But it's always nice to be able to see people that, that end up you're in a bad situation. Like, no one's going to succeed in fucking Cleveland. The Panthers are terrible. But again, Sean McVay, a lot of the success, Baker needed to be able to hear those words, from a respected coach, that, people look up to. One of the brightest minds in the game besides Kyle Shanahan for play calling. And to be able to get his aura and swag back that he had back in Oklahoma. But then when he went to the Browns, even though he got him to the playoffs once, and then went to the Panthers, he lost it. He lost faith in himself, and lost that swag and that aura, But then going to the Rams saved his career. Then got a 1-year prove-it deal with us, and now he's going to be our quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years, And again, it does help having Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to act like, if we didn't have those two guys, would Baker be as good as he is right now? Of course not, he wouldn't. But again, having guys like Amari Cooper or Jerry Jeudy, he would still be able to make some plays, but the atmosphere for the Browns is different, Or if he was on the Rams and had Cooper Kupp and Puka to throw to, he would be able to do similar things that he's doing now, obviously here in Tampa, when you have elite talent like that. So, you got to have a good supporting cast, but almost just as important is having a good offensive line. Because again, if the offensive line isn't good, Baker doesn't have the time to fucking bake. Facts. Well, the thing is, you don't care about what someone says because you think it's negative, but if it's negative and true, then you're in denial mode. Okay? Again, what you want me to say, the Ducks are the best team in college football and we're going to win a natty this year and we don't have any problems on our offensive line and our OC is the best in the country and our defense is the best and we're going to win the Big Ten? Come on, Matt. Come on. And then what? I say those things and then you agree with me, thinking that we're that good? Come on. Not everyone could be a Baker Mayfield. We call it how we see it here. We don't play favoritism, regardless of what team it is. My favorite team, someone else's favorite team. If a team is good, they're good. If they're not, they're fucking not. It's just because you get fucking too attached to the team and you're taking it, too personal. But again, if you want to take things personal, that's fine. But again, it's, at one point we will be good, like we were last year. But this year, we're not. It's plain and simple. We can be 4-0, but that doesn't mean we're going to do anything. I mean, do you think it really gives me fucking joy to say that the Ducks aren't good? You think it gives me fucking joy, like my favorite fucking team that I watch and I actually go to games, that, I have to say that the team is not good and they're underperforming and they don't got a good OC and, that we're pretenders, not contenders? Like, do you really think that makes me feel good, like saying that? It's about being honest and being real. Instead of being like everyone else and being biased just because they're my favorite team and just saying that everything's good when it's not. Come on, my guy. But you got to call a spade a spade. When things are good, you'll know it. When things are not good, you'll know it. That's my guy right there, baby. Mets are going to get advance and get blasted in the next round. 24-17, Buccaneers. Great start, man. LFB, baby. Let's fucking bake. And I've always wanted a franchise quarterback. Never had one. Had one with Brady for 3 years. And now we got Baker. And even though, at one point or another, it's like, oh, maybe, Bo Nix, maybe Michael Penix Jr. But again, I'm really happy that he was able to develop into this type of player. But again, fatherhood was a big part of it too. And when you end up becoming a father, it ends up changing you. And him having a daughter definitely changed him for the better. And I'm really happy, with him and his wife and family that they were able to have that happen. Because if Baker didn't end up having a daughter, who knows really how good Baker is at this particular point. I'm super happy that we got a franchise QB that can keep us in games now. I don't got to worry about Josh Freeman's, Chris Sims, And guys like that, feels good. Feels good to compete. LFB, baby. Let's go. Go. Oh, Matty Ice. He really is. He's one of those guys, the leadership, it just flows through his veins, and again, when he first came into the league, he came in kind of as a cocky punk, right? That came in thinking that he was going to take over the whole league, and again, that swagger that he had at Oklahoma, he was able to get away with that and be kind of a frat guy, a party dude, let's drink and let's party and do that, right? But then, after a while, when you end up having hardships and you end up going to shitholes like Cleveland, and then you end up going to Carolina, and then thinking that maybe your career is done and you're going to be a bust, and then McVay ends up giving him a shot, and then that ended up getting the one-year deal, prove-it deal with Tampa. And sometimes, again, it depends on, what organization you're a part of, what the supporting cast is, but also having people that believe in you and people that, and you also the maturity level, to be able to grow and to mature, and understand that a lot of work needs to be done. Just because you were great in college doesn't mean you're going to be great in the NFL. And I think that's a big kind of slap in the face and a reality check for a lot of these guys. Baker Mayfield, had plenty of weapons to be able to go to. He was throwing touchdowns to Mark Andrews back in the day, when at Oklahoma, and was making it look easy. But again, as anyone knows in anything, you have to put in a lot of hard work. You're not going to be successful by being lazy. And it's really cool to be able to not only see Baker baking, but to actually be supported and loved. And this is going to be our guy, for the next 5-10 years. We're not going to have to look in the draft. We're not having to look in free agency. This is his team. And, maybe a couple of years ago, people were a little skeptical, including myself. But, I've definitely seen the growth. But again, supportive wife, supportive family, new baby daughter, changed him for the better. And the maturity has come out. And if you look at him and the way he speaks in interviews, it's completely different from when he was at Oklahoma, completely different from when he was in Cleveland or on Carolina or the Rams. And, like I said, it actually gives our team a chance to compete, not only in the NFC, but to be actually a respected team in the NFL. And I remember, before Baker and before Brady, that's all I wanted. I just wanted Tampa to be respected, so that way we weren't a laughingstock and getting fucking blasted all the time. And I'm just really thankful that we got a guy that has matured in that regard. And it's super exciting. I mean, when we had Tom Brady, it was exciting as well. But you could argue in this Baker Mayfield era, it's just as exciting, if not more. We don't know if we're going to be able to win a Super Bowl with Baker, but if he can keep this consistency up, and we already know Mike Evans and Godwin aren't going to be able to play forever, but again, if you can keep the consistency up, there is a chance that they might be able to go a little bit further than people think. Maybe we get to an NFC championship game this year, next year, or the following year. Maybe we overachieve and get to a Super Bowl and lose. Maybe we get to a Super Bowl and win in the next 3 years. I don't know, but all I know is that the maturity process has benefited Baker, and he is starting to become a lot of people's favorite quarterback to root for, just like a Sam Darnold. Obviously this season, we'll see if he can do it, later on. And when J.J. McCarthy comes, at that point, is Sam Darnold still the starter, or does it go to McCarthy? Is Sam Darnold still on the Vikings, or does he have to go to another team to find his forever home? We don't really know, that yet. But, I like stories like that. And again, organizations fail quarterbacks more than quarterbacks fail organizations. Believe that. Absolutely. O-line is the number one thing. Again, if you don't got a good O-line, doesn't matter. Obviously, it's great to have the running backs and the tight ends and the wide receivers, but if you don't have an O-line to give you enough time to pass protect and run block, then, we're not even talking about Baker Mayfield or my Bucs right now. We're one of the laughing stocks. So we got to 20, baby. Let's go. 24-17. Look at the efficiency. 12 for 15. 3 tutties, no picks. It's like a dream come true for me, man. I remember being young and, Vinny Testaverde, and, that might have been a guy that was good in college but never really panned out, and then you're just trying to find someone. Trent Dilfer, Josh Freeman was good for a year, right? Chris Sims, Jeff Garcia at the end of his career, and just hoping and praying, one day can I have a franchise QB that could be here for 5 to 10 years? And lo and behold, here he is, LFB Baker Mayfield. Let's go. Cade Otton incoming, baby. Cade Otton, second half touchdown incoming. Let's go. And for Double E's sake, he wants one with Chris Godwin. Let's go, Bucks. Go, Bucky. Yeah. And that athleticism is one of the things that Oregon is lacking. To be able to have a guy that's got the shiftiness and the aggressiveness to be able to go left, right, and be able to stop on a dime. It's like we got running backs on the squad, but they ain't like him. He's special. He's kind of like like a Gibbs, for Detroit. Obviously, Gibbs is a little bit more electric than Bucky, but I honestly feel that if Bucky ended up being the starter and we kept building that O-line, I think he would be a lot closer to Jahmyr Gibbs than people think. He's got that electricity, and honestly, if the O-line keeps developing, and then Rachaad White ends up being the RB2 to Bucky Irving number 1, you might end up getting some similar numbers that Gibbs is giving Detroit. Detroit's got a good offensive line as well with Ragnow, who's hurt at center, and Penei Sewell. We got Graham Barton and Tristan Wirfs. So there's a lot of similarities with Detroit and Tampa if you look at the way that they're built with Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. We have a fumble. Second down. Rachaad White, don't fumble, baby. Yes. 4-2. Otton, baby. Air in the building. What's good? Mets, Phillies, that's going to be disgusting. Phillies just going to mollywop their ass. Dodger, Padres, no one knows what's going to happen. If you don't watch the Padres, you just assume the Dodgers are going to win with Shohei, but that's a real threat. Baker with the pump fake, keeping his eyes downfield. He's so efficient, man. Flag on the play, holding on the O-line. That's coming back. Double E's like, Godwin got a catch, and of course it's a hold. Damn it. Good to see you back in the stream, bro. 2 days in a row. I feel like it's like my birthday or something, but it's Sarah's. Good to see you, dude. I love being able to see people that have been gone for a minute and then come back. And, we've always appreciated you. We've always loved you. You got great wrestling knowledge. I don't know if there's anybody else that's got the knowledge like you. Obviously me and Odin and Sarah have been watching since the 80s, and you're a little bit younger. But I feel that you watch more variety than anybody else. And, it's always a pleasure to be able to have you, my guy. Look at Baker with this one-handed grab that could have been a fumble by Graham Barton. Still doesn't even fumble it and then gets a screen to go to White. Let's go, baby. I remember watching that too. I was a little boy. I remember watching that in the living room. Baker, look out. Avoid the sack. Run, run, run. Run, Baker. Tuck and run. Tuck and run. Yeah, good block. And a late hit. Out of bounds. Yeah, baby. First down, Buccaneers. Good decision making there. That might have been like inbounds, but it was close. We'd have to look at the replay there. Now, I'm always going to provide, the good vibes, bro. But it's not just me that's missed you. A lot of the, people have missed you. They waved it off. Good call. Good call there. It was definitely close, but let's look to see where he's at. Is he out of bounds? All right, so when he does get hit, the foot is still in the air. It's close, but I do agree with that call to pick up the flag. I mean, if it was in Tampa, maybe they, give him the home field call. But again, it was very close, but I think that was the correct call. But again, you're going to have people that are, Tampa Bay, diehards, and they're going to say, oh my God, that was fucking was super late, But again, sometimes you just got to be able to look at a play, even though it would benefit your team, and you might end up getting another touchdown because of it. But if it ends up being something like that, you got to be honest, especially if it's close like that. Good karma will come our way. Not every 50-50 play is going to, bounce in your favor. And hopefully, if there's another play similar to that, that we end up getting the call, if it ends up actually being out of bounds or a little bit closer of a play to make there. 24-17, Tampa. Absolutely. Big gut punch. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. And a lot of times it happens with the closers, like with the Houston Astros, right? It's like if you can have a particular player be good during the regular season, but traditionally they may end up choking in the post, and usually history tends to repeat itself, right? Not every, player is going to continuously be a choker, but sometimes, if you look at the stats and the analytics, there's going to be certain individuals that are clutch, and there's going to be certain individuals that kind of break under pressure. So, yeah. Well, plus, you haven't had Love, in every single game so far. You're seeing guys like Wicks step up, obviously for Christian Watson going down with a high ankle. Obviously Jaden Reed has turned himself into a top 10, top 12 receiver. It feels like in the league, he's your number one by far, even though you had Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, and we saw those guys break out a little bit last year, but now it's Reed and Wicks. So again, the offense is evolving. I'm not sure if you guys, would be better off with Aaron Jones rather than Josh Jacobs. I think Aaron is playing better than Josh this season. Offensive line needs to be better. Defense obviously plays in spurts, and they still have some good players on that side of the ball. But again, the Packers are still going to be battling it out. It's going to be a 3-team race, right? Bears will be last. And then you'll have the Lions and the Packers and the Vikings, battling it out, just like we have in the South, right? With the Saints and the Falcons and the Bucks. It's going to be a 3-team race. And, it sucks. But the way that the Vikings have been playing with Sam Darnold, everyone is, feeling the wrath of Sam Darnold right now. So we're better than the Mets. They just got in. If we would have been able to win, more of our games that were, winnable, and we had better hitters, then we would have gotten in, and I honestly feel if the Mariners got into the playoffs, anything's possible. I mean, who really had the Royals sweeping the Orioles? Did anyone really believe that was going to happen? I think most people had the Orioles winning. Pass incomplete, and Bobby Witt Jr., has played fantastic this year, and good for him. He was kind of single-handedly the guy that has, given the Royals that oomph in the lineup and defensively to be able to make this run, and he's been one of the top 4 players overall. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and obviously Francisco Lindor on the Mets, and then Bobby Witt Jr. And if Judge and Ohtani didn't exist, then Lindor and Bobby Witt Jr. would be MVPs this year for the National and American League. So, certain guys, they end up stepping up into the clutch moments, and that's Bobby Witt Jr. He's a stud. Second down and 10. Floater. Wow, how was that caught? First down, Falcons. Antoine Winfield Jr., where are you? I miss you. These plays to the wide receivers for the Falcons are way too easy. Get that walk in. Yeah, and I ended up losing to the Broncos, and that was rough. That was fucking rough. But again, anybody can beat anyone on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. But one thing the Broncos do have is an amazing defense. Patrick Surtain looks like he might be the best corner in football. I mean, he's shutting down every wide receiver one in the season, and in dramatic fashion. So, but we'll see where it goes, man. We'll see where it goes. Shout out to Baker and Kirk donating to the hurricane efforts. I've seen some crazy videos on there. People losing their lives, people losing their parents, their grandparents, their kids. Houses floating away. That's a fucking problem out there. Prayers up to all the family members and extended family members that are being affected by that. I mean, I couldn't imagine living in the Midwest or in the South, with all of the hurricanes and the crazy problems. Oh, Levante David down. Get up, Levante. Let's see what happens here with my boy, my favorite player here on the defense besides Vita Vea and Antoine Winfield Jr. Oh, cheap! He tried to injure my guy and tears ACL. Fuck that guy up. 63 needs an ass whooping. What was that? He tried to tear his ACL, that son of a bitch. That cheap ass trying to go for a chop block, trying to fucking bend his knee in the wrong direction. Go fuck that guy up. Oh, that guy's fucking done. Oh, they're coming after him. Motherfucker. I hate when I see people do that shit. When they try to go low and they literally try to injure a guy. Fuck that. I get it. We're ahead by 7, but don't you dare try to take my Hall of Famer out of the fucking game or out for the year, bastard. Now I'm more mad. Seeing some cheap bullshit like that. I didn't really have a problem with the Falcons, but now I do. Bastard. Bergeron with a false start. Second down and 10. Cousins. Pick that off. Oh! McCollum, one of the best corners that really wasn't a name for years, and they took a chance on him, and he's really developing. We got rid of Carlton Davis. He ended up going to the Lions. Sean Murphy-Bunting sent him away. And again, certain guys that don't get enough credit. McCollum is a beast. And again, I never really knew if he was going to pan out for this team or not. I thought he would just be another guy running around out there, but he's been very good for us. 3rd and 10. Cousins, little check down. Wrap him up. There we go. There we go. Fourth down and 3. Shotgun set. Cousins, hands up, hands up, hands up. Fuck. First down, Falcons. Mooney. Man, they have such good rapport with Kirk Cousins. I mean, imagine if Desmond Ridder was still on this team. You're not getting a whole lot out of Drake London, and maybe 1 out of every 3 games he blows up. But now with Kirk Cousins, Mooney and Drake London are money every single game. Unbelievable throw by Kirk right there. That was a throw to Jay Jetta. Like a very similar type of desperation throw as pressure is incoming. Nice job, Kirk. Cool kid in the building. What's good? Yeah. Get him! Zach Robinson in his bag, man. But again, when you have Kirk Cousins compared to Desmond Ridder, I mean, that's a huge upgrade. Ridder is terrible. And, Cousins, for a good chunk of his career, right, whether he was in Washington with RG3 or if he ended up being on the Vikings, he's always had some weapons around him, right? But again, for a guy that, got picked after RG3 for Michigan State, he's been pretty fucking good, overall. And obviously he had problems winning in prime time for a good chunk of his career. Couldn't win on Monday night, couldn't win on Sunday night, couldn't win on Thursday night. But again, this feels like a good fit for Kirk. It still would have been a good fit with him on the Vikings, but again, when an individual has an injury like that, sometimes they just want to, move in another direction. And nice to be able to see Sam Darnold do what he does, and Kirk is having some great success here in Atlanta. And it's kind of nice to have another team in the South be good instead of just us and the Saints, if I'm being real. Play action fake, screen pass, Ray McLeod, nice tackle. And that's a flag. Hold on Drake London. Bring that back, baby. Yeah, Pitt's finally actually having a good game for once. 12.3. But again, you dropped him for a reason. 11, 5, 7, 0. It's hard to be able to roster a guy, when they end up doing you dirty like that. And again, that's why we get emotional in fantasy, because when you end up getting, shitty numbers and then you lose, you almost can't forgive them. Like a lot of times, when someone does me dirty, I don't even wait until the fucking wire to swap players. I'll be like, fuck you, and I'll just drop them. And I know you're the same way, Captain Oreo. When someone does you dirty, you don't even wait to just transfer one guy for another on the wire. You say, fuck that, I'll just drop your ass. You got to make sure you discipline, those particular players. You're the head coach, you're the owner, you're the CEO. You do me dirty, then you get the fucking boot. I don't even wait to swap you for another player. I just let you go into the wild. So if someone else wants to grab you, they have that option, instead of waiting, for the swap during the transfer process. You got to make sure you teach them a lesson. 7:14 left in the third. 24-17 Tampa. Come on, Tampa. I need some defense here, baby. But still, Pitt's too inconsistent to be playing every week. I mean, he's had 2 good games so far. Hopefully, he'll get a few more. Get him! There we go. It's 12 minutes. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Nelson, baby. Nice job, Nelson. Let's go, baby. Cousins. Incomplete. Nice. Field goal is up, and it's good. 24-20, Buccaneers, who obviously recovering for those 2 misses that he had. I know Megan's got him on the bench, but she's got Butker, so. But Koo is money, from deep range. It was so weird to see him miss those 2 first kicks. Hi, Paisley. All right, I'm going to get Paisley a snack here. She came in here. Let me get Paisley a snack, and we'll be right back at it. 24-20 Buccaneers. Let's go. It also depends on injuries, Captain Oreo, and personnel, and how you feel if you can cover an individual like that. Like if you got good linebackers, then you don't really need to double a guy like Kyle Pitts. But if you don't, or you're injured, then you might have to, just to be able to make up the difference, because obviously the linebackers are going to be going against the tight ends. And, when linebackers are hurt, Sam Laporta actually got the ball because Seattle had 2 guys out at linebacker. So you're going to want to attack your weakness, right? All right, let me go get some food for Paisley. I'll be right back. All right, baby. Look at Cousins, 26 for 36, 315 and 2 tutties. Again, not having Antoine Winfield Jr. It's big. 13 for 16, 129 yards, 3 tutties there. Cade Otton at 5.7. I just need another 5 more. A couple more catches out of Cade Otton, baby. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Chris Godwin, baby. Oh, he fumbled. Fuck. Grab it, Mike. Mike got it. Wow. Mike Evans. Oh, my. That was crazy. Godwin. Oh, Elliott. Some games are going to be a Chris Godwin game, but this is definitely a Mike Evans game. And look at that punch out right there. And luckily, Mike Evans with the awareness, because that could have been a game-changing turnover. And we were kind of waiting to see when that fumble or pick was going to happen. And thank God Mike Evans has got the fucking awareness of a honey badger. Let's go. Luda is there. Luda! First down and 10. Baker, play action. Into the flat. There we go. Go right back to Chris Godwin after he got it punched out. He normally doesn't fumble. He got it punched out. And again, that's a sign of a mature quarterback wanting to instill confidence in a receiver that is very, very good. Mike Evans is always going to get a lot of the love in the pub, but Godwin is one of those guys that doesn't get enough. His hands are amazing, and it's very rare when he ends up having a turnover that is his fault. So I like that by Baker Mayfield. Get that confidence back up to CG. Wouldn't be surprised if Godwin ends up getting a touchdown in this game or another big play before the game's over. Still waiting for that Cade Otton, though. Come on, baby. Because we're at that point, they're going to be looking at Godwin. They're going to be looking at Evans. They're going to be looking at Rachaad White and Bucky. What's the one guy that they're not going to be looking at? Cade Otton. So if we can get a little bit closer into the red zone, maybe we'll end up getting a special Cade Otton play, baby. Third or fourth quarter. Let's go. I did see that about Eminem being a grandpa. Shotgun set. Baker. Pressure breaking down. Run, baby, run. Look at Baker go. Bake it, bake it, bake it. Lean forward. Good effort there. Good effort by Bake. Yeah, London and Mooney have been great, as well as Mike Evans. Nice job by Baker. Keep baking, baby. Chris Godwin. Nice. He had to run over his own player right there to get the first down. Where's the flag late there? There it is. That's a late hit. We're at 22. 78 to go. No worries, Megan. You do a good job managing your time, Again, you're gonna have to be able to manage your time between your favorite places, and sometimes that'll be with the 12s on the nest, and sometimes some of your time will be here. Nice little unnecessary roughness right there, and that is definitely blatant late. I mean, we already had one player try to tear Levante David's ACL, so I'm never going to forget that. And the Falcons are definitely on my shit list now. Again, I didn't really have a problem with them because they normally don't do anything dirty. I love the helmets. I love the jersey combo, but don't you dare try to take out my Hall of Fame linebacker. Bertrand, the guilty party. I mean, the game is close. There's no room for dirty football, but you know how that goes. Yeah, one day we'll do a members type thing where they have the membership and the members, but I don't think we have enough people at this point to do something like that. But at one point we will do something like that too here. Shotgun set. Baker. Hands off to Bucky Irving. Good defense there by the Falcons. Well, hopefully it's probably less toxic, right? Where you're not having just a bunch of the other randoms that are there or the regulars that are toxic there, like during a game. So I imagine when it's the members, it's the people that care about him and the channel the most. And then, you don't really get that toxicity. It's more good vibes. And I don't blame you, going. I mean, that's a good thing. You could use all of the good vibes, right? There he is. My boy, Cade Otton. Do it again. Let's go. Nice job, Cade. Go to him again. And this could be the Cade Otton touchdown right here, baby. You got to be able to understand, where to go. And again, Cade Otton is always going to be the guy that's overlooked, right? And you can go right back to him right now, and you can get a tutty here. He might even be wide open. Ah, big. 12 noon, you know what time it is. Out for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Damn it. Why couldn't the offensive line protect right here? This could have been an amazing one-on-one, but Cade was not open, and Baker goes down. Like, let go of him. Don't try to tear his goddamn ACL. Jesus Christ. Atlanta trying to injure our players. First Levante David, now Baker Mayfield. Come on, you bastards. Yeah, I figured it was going to be close. Kick is up, and it's good. Look at him right here. Let go! It's like those, hip drop tackles that are, that could end up ending a fucking, a season or a career. Let fucking go. Man, I didn't realize Atlanta was this dirty. But I guess when you're 2-2, 2 plays away from being 4-0, 2 plays away from being 0-4, I guess you get desperate and trying to hurt the other team. So 27-20 Bucks. Great game. Best Thursday night game, I believe, so far. So we had Ravens Chiefs in week 1. That one was good. And then we had Bills Dolphins. That was a blowout. Then we had Jets Patriots. That was a blowout. Cowboys Giants, which was close, but not as good. So I would say this ranks right there with week number 1 with the Chiefs and the Ravens, with the Isaiah Likely stepping out of bounds but catching the game-tying catch at the very end. It's right up there. Yeah. And like I said, I never really had a problem. The normal rival for the Falcons is the Saints, but the Bucs and Saints have kind of picked up our rivalry since both of our teams have been good. And the natural rivalry is more Bucs, Panthers, Falcons, Saints. But for it to be a rivalry, the other team has to win. And the Panthers is not really a rivalry; it's just a beatdown. So it's just kind of Falcons, Bucs, Saints. We're all kind of intermingled together and whatnot. But the Bucs Falcons games typically are good, just like the Bucs Saints games as well. NFC South, baby. Nice to have 3 teams in the NFC South that are actually like respectable, just like in the North with the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions, going at it. There's not going to be too many divisions in football that actually have 3, that are competing for more than likely only 2 spots. So. (27-20) Buccaneers. I'm glad that we could have a good game for your birthday, Sarah. Happy birthday. Hope you had a good meal at the steakhouse. Had a overall great day. And hopefully, obviously, as we get into the other streams that we're going to be doing, obviously we'll be doing Ducks and the Spartans tomorrow, Michigan State and Oregon. And then we'll be doing WWE Bad Blood on Saturday. Super excited about that. That'll be fun, Sarah. And then also we'll be doing Steelers Cowboys on Sunday night with Justin Fields and Dak. Should be interesting. And then we got Chiefs and Saints on Monday night. So pretty cool. Probably a little bit more offense in that Steelers Cowboys matchup than we're going to get with the Chiefs and the Saints. That one could be low scoring, like 17-10, something like that, or 17-13 or 20-17. But hopefully we get enough good plays out of the offenses, Saints and Chiefs, where it can actually be, at least halfway entertaining, which I feel it will be. I mean, if we're just talking about natural rivalries in the South, and, normally it was the Bucs and the Panthers that were rivals, and then, obviously the Falcons and Saints have been rivals from day one. Dirty Birds, and obviously now the Saints. So Mooney with the short game. But I don't think our rival now is the Panthers. I would say our main rival now is the Saints. That's our number one rival. So the Saints have 2. They got the Falcons as their primary, and then they got the Bucs because obviously the Bucs and Saints have been the best in the division for a long time. Look at this little hip drop, like he's trying to injure my guy, motherfucker. Like, what are you trying to do? Tear my guy's fucking ACL? Bitch. 2nd down and 8. Get him! Incomplete. Tykeem Smith from Georgia, 3rd down and 8. Oh, nice. Yeah, he's, like I said, he didn't really have a whole lot of value. I mean, he was a decent player in Chicago a few years back. But again, Desmond Ridder, not a good quarterback. Kirk Cousins, good quarterback, likes to spread it around. And, Mooney and Drake London getting a lot of looks, just like if it was Kirk on Minnesota with Addison and Jetta. Like, you're going to be able to get a lot of looks, a lot of targets every game for both. Cousins, wow, wide open. Antoine Winfield Jr.'s presence is sorely missed right now. 1st down, Falcons. Move the chains. I mean, I wish the defense was a little bit better by both teams, but at least it makes it kind of exciting at being high scoring like this, back and forth. I mean, a lot better than if the game was like 13-10 right now, right? End of the 3rd quarter, Bucks up by 7. Let's go. Surprised that he's actually even available in your Nest League. That's usually a guy that was already swooped up a long time ago. Big hole for Bijan. Wrap him up. Strip that football. And that's one of the biggest runs of the day there for Bijan. We've held him in check today. End of the third quarter, 27-20, baby. Let's go. And like I mentioned multiple times on the screen, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. Addiction, depression, anxiety. These are just a couple things, that are going around. And again, if you feel like you're slipping into the darkness, we've had a few people, even Air, obviously being gone for a little bit and coming back. But music can really help. He mentioned like Jelly Roll and Eminem and a few people. Like sometimes, you get into this funk and you got to be able to make those, positive changes. Exercising, eating healthier, getting rid of toxic people in your life, listening to music, watching TV shows or movies that make you feel good and bring a smile to your face. And if you can end up making those adjustments and knowing your triggers and being able to, do the hard thing sometimes and being able to change your diet, pushing yourself to exercise even when you feel like you don't want to, cutting back on soda, fast food, and the food that's not good for you. It's hard to make changes. But if you're resilient and you understand, how your mind and your body works, you can get back on track. But it definitely takes a lot of discipline, right? You got to have the discipline, and holding yourself accountable is one of the hardest things to do. At the end of the day, it's only you, that is in control of this up here. So you got to make sure that you're doing those things. And once you understand, your triggers and, what's good in your life and what's not, and stop making excuses and actually just, working hard to be better, and then you end up doing it, you'll be able to reap the rewards. Again, if I didn't have Paisley, I probably wouldn't be in this position that I'm in right now. Obviously cutting back also on my diet and walking every day. And honestly, if I didn't have Paisley, who knows what I would be, as far as weight right now. I blew up to 270. Who knows? Maybe I'm 300 pounds and just depressed and sad as shit. But I definitely wanted things to change in my life, and now I'm down to 185. I haven't been this skinny since high school, and I don't plan ever to get as big as I was. It just was not. It was cool to be able to drink beers on stream and eat unhealthy. But at the end of the day, when you eat certain foods like that, it definitely not only weighs you down physically for your weight, but I feel like it puts you in a kind of a mode of being lazy. And again, it's like when you end up eating McDonald's, it might taste really good, but have you ever noticed after you eat fast food, how lazy you feel? You don't feel like doing anything. And it's one thing, if you're just trying to relax and whatnot, but I can definitely tell in this last year with the changes that I've made, especially with my exercise and my diet, even when I end up eating unhealthy foods now, it's almost like my body rejects that type of stuff. And it's nice to be able to have a cheat meal here and there like The Rock, but I'm never going back to where I was. Little short gain there for Bijan. Happy 30-year school reunion. No worries. Oh, you need a Bijan to score. I can't have Bijan score. Well, I guess I can for you, but I need to win this game. Okay. Bijan can score. Kate Otten can get a touchdown, and then I can win. How about that? Second down and 4. Where's my big defensive play? And obviously, they're going to be going to the heavy Bijan here. Third down and 2. But again, it's with Tampa and the way that they play defense, for a majority of the night, it's been, zone. And Kirk is just picking that zone apart with no Antoine Winfield Jr. and some of the injuries that we have. And again, not very many teams have the player or personnel or discipline to play man, again, because you're one-on-one on an island and you can get burnt. So, and obviously we did the Tampa too with Monty Kiffin and whatnot. But again, if you get an efficient quarterback that has time on that O-line, and traditionally Atlanta's line has been pretty good over the years, then you can pick apart a defense And there's my guy right there, as I speak of, right there, Antoine Winfield Jr., arguably the best safety in football. So he's a guy that can punch out a football, intercept a football, sack lunch. He can do it all. And we've only had him, I think, for one game so far. So I can't wait for him to come back to be able to, be that neutralizing piece there in the secondary. Bajan's going out. Algier is going in. Well, Mooney already got a touchdown, but Bajan has not. So we'll see what happens here. 3rd down and 2. Come on, Tampa. Man in motion. Ray McLeod. Hand off to Algier. Hit him. Yeah. Sit him down. Field goal time. Oh, they go for it. Mooney, touchdown, Falcons. You dirty birds, you. And you get your wish. Mooney with another tutty. My God. Unbelievable. 4th and 4. Look at this. Look at this shitty missed tackle. And look at the awareness. Nice job. Oh, my God. Darnell Mooney having a game of his life. Oh, my goodness. Reds are hiring Francona. Mooney. It shows you, man, how important a secondary is as well as a D-line. Like, I got Vita Vea up there, but with no Antoine Winfield Jr., we are getting fucking picked apart. Both quarterbacks are great, Cousins and Baker, but this is unexcusable. This should have been a 1st down, right? And then Bajan might have been able to get like a, halfback dive and a score. But when you don't tackle properly, that's exactly what happens right there. Wow. Unbelievable. Chief will Chief has got 22.5 from London, 28.8 from Mooney. Unbelievable. And he's starting both because Puka and A.J. Brown are injured. And you're getting similar numbers that if A.J. Brown and Puka were playing. How many people would think that? But again, Kirk Cousins is the difference. If it was Desmond Ridder, then you're probably only getting 8 to 13 points out of Mooney, and then London is probably getting 10 to 17. But with Kirk Cousins in the game, they got 20 points each. That's crazy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Chief will Chief was the worst team in the league, and now he's projected for 146.1. Elliott has got at least 11.6 out of Godwin, but when you're getting 2 touchdowns out of Mooney, and you're also getting a touchdown out of London, 8 receptions, 88 yards, 2 tutties by Mooney, 7 receptions, 95 yards, and a tutty by London. Unbelievable. What a great duo. And it's a little bit of luck, but also the sports gods feeling a little bad, for the A.J. Brown and the Puka, because those were his 2 first picks in the draft, and they both went down. Wow. Unbelievable. Bajan is at a 9, so he's got 60 yards. Obviously, you want, more than just 9. But Matt's got 9 with Bajan and probably will get double digits before the game is over. And then Baker's at 20.24. Obviously, anytime you can get 20 points at your quarterback is obviously a great sign because a lot of quarterbacks can't even do that. So, and then Reflect got 11 out of the Bucs kicker, McLaughlin. So, see, everyone is getting some numbers there. No one is really... everyone is producing in this game. Now, even Koo, after those 2 missed kicks, one on a penalty and one wasn't, even Koo on Megan's bench with 11, but she's got Butker. So there hasn't been really anybody necessarily with a bad game. Now, you want a little bit more if you got Godwin in fantasy for Elliott. You want a little bit more if you're Britt and you got Bajan. But overall, nobody's at a 2, or a 3 or a 0. So, hell, even Kyle Pitts has numbers today. Crazy. Oh, yeah. We haven't had him for almost a whole year. We've only had him for 1 game, and he got hurt. And this is a big reason why they're giving up this many. Now, if we had Antoine Winfield Jr. In the lineup, we're still giving up points, but we're not giving up as much. Again, he's a guy that can punch the football out. He's the last man, before a score gets in. And we already know Antoine Winfield Jr. last year was the best safety in football. And, when you don't have the best safety in football and you got a backup in there, you're getting absolutely fucking torched. How are you, Finley? What's good, man? The Andy Dalton resurgence. You ended up making the move and benching Bryce, and the team looks much better. But you do have a little bit of a rough stretch in these next few games. Obviously, Bears defense will be a little difficult. But nice to see Andy Dalton, putting up some good numbers. 5 touchdowns and only 1 pick for Andy since taking over for Bryce Young. Baker. First down. Mike Evans. Move the chains. Let's go. I'll probably watch the game, but I don't know if I'll be streaming it. I'm doing the Ducks and Michigan State tomorrow. I usually watch about 3 or 4 college football games in entirety on Saturday, but, probably not doing a stream for that, but I will be watching it for sure, 100%. First down and 10. Man in motion. Play action fake. Baker, run, baby, go, baby, go. Go, Bake, go. LFB, LFB. First down, Buccaneers. Nice to see Baker, being able to tough it out. Obviously, Onyemata was trying to rip his fucking leg off. And again, we had another dirty player on the offensive line that tried to chop block and tear Levante David's ACL. I would have never forgiven the Falcons ever if that would have happened. And that would have been a big, missing piece. Again, it's like you got Vita Vea up front, like a Warren Sapp. Levante David is our Derek Brooks, and Antoine Winfield Jr. is our John Lynch. And Zion McCollum is kind of like our Rondé Barber. And then when you miss one of those pieces, you feel it. Facts. Handoff. Rashad White right up the gut. Nice to see him run because I didn't know if he was able to do something like that. So, likes up, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Sarah said that we're over 20, so that's a good sign. We want to try to get to 25 or 30. We're at 22. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. 3 more to 25. Now 2 more to 25. 7 more to 30. Let's get there. What a good game. Just as good of a game as the Ravens and Chiefs in week 1. And maybe this one's even better. Second down and 9. Shotgun set for Baker. Throw to the outside. Cade on. Come on. Got to give Cade a better fucking throw. Come on now. Come on, Bake. You can't give everyone good throws and then get a fucking shit throw to Cade. Come on, man. Third down and 9. Yes, you were, Michael. But obviously, both defenses, if you end up having injuries or, you got good quarterback play out of Cousins and out of Baker. So, but an entertaining game, regardless if you don't give a shit about me or the Buccaneers or the Falcons. If you're just watching it as a fan on an outsider looking in, great game. Just going down to the wire, it may come down to whoever has the football last, Let's go, baby. Atlanta's defense starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Blitz coming. And Baker with a short gain. Tuck that football in. Don't let that get punched out. Field goal is up, and it's good. 30-27, Buccaneers. Good points there for McLaughlin for Fleck. McLaughlin was 16. That's great for a kicker. You always got to play those green matchups. Anytime you see a kicker there, if you're streaming kickers or streaming defenses, a lot of people in fantasy, they just stick with one or they pick up another. But sometimes, when you end up having a defense that has a tough matchup, you're doing yourself a disservice. You sometimes, if there is talent, on the defense or the kicking wire, sometimes, just being able to pick up a new one each week, sometimes it can be a little risky, but if there is enough talent that's there and you can see an opening and you can take advantage of it like Reflect typically does, I'll do that a scenario once in a while as well. You can end up benefiting from it. Again, you just have to be comfortable on streaming defenses every week or kickers. But again, there's enough defenses and kickers that are out there that, if you pick the right one and a right green matchup and they have the right type of game plan like this, then you can end up cashing in quite heavily. Nice job with McLaughlin. 30-27, Tampa. Let's go. Yeah, I was the only team to beat them. They're 3-1. Jaden Daniels looks great. And again, you never know what's going to happen year to year. Not having Kelsey on your O-line is definitely hurting you guys. A.J. Brown getting hurt, Devontae Smith getting hurt. The defense, not really looking as good as they were a couple years ago. So, you always want to make sure you're taking advantage when the team is really, really good, because you just never know if that's going to be your last opportunity for a while to get back to that point. Now, we obviously know the Eagles have some strong players. The Cowboys have some strong players. No one thought the Commandos would be this good. But again, every year, we always have a team that goes from worst to first or from third to first. And again, I don't think anyone anticipated Washington or Minnesota, but sometimes it's injuries within the division. Sometimes it's injuries within your own team. Sometimes it's guys retiring. But I hope things will get better, for the Eagles and for you. But I think as an Eagle fan, this team is nowhere near the same as it was a few years ago. And that's just a harsh reality that Eagle fans have to kind of deal with, that Juergens is not Jason Kelsey. Unfortunate injuries to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Now, Dallas Goedert and Saquon are playing great. Jalen hasn't really played very good this year, and the defense hasn't been the greatest either, but hopefully those will improve as the year goes on. So. You got some weird opinions, Matt. You like to argue a lot. Bro, you got some weird opinions, For someone that loves play calling and play breakdown, you got some very suspect views on football, bro. Jaden Daniels is the truth. And again, you're young. You're only in your 20s, okay? So you haven't watched football as long as some of us in the room. But that's the best franchise quarterback that they've had, maybe ever, besides Alex Smith, Mark Rippon, that took him to a Super Bowl, and Joel Theismann. He is the real deal. You don't get to 3-1, after being a bottom feeder dog shit team without, someone that is going to win Rookie of the Year on the offense, but maybe either him or Malik Neighbors. So, either you recognize the talent or you don't, or you're a hater. Daniels is the real deal. So, you can either recognize that the talent is there, or not, Maybe things would be different, Matt, if the Broncos picked Jaden Daniels and maybe if you guys were 3-1, but just because, they're 3-1, and it's not someone that's on your team and you got Bo Nix, doesn't mean Jaden Daniels is garbage. I mean, he's the best quarterback out of this quarterback class. Come on, my guy. We need to watch more film. 2nd down and 5. Hand off to Bajan. Good tackle there by the Bucs. I mean, pretty much acting like if you're not going to give credit to Jaden Daniels, then I guess Malik Neighbors is garbage too, right? He's not good either. Jaden and Malik are garbage. Last time I checked, Neighbors is the #1 receiver, and Jaden is playing amazing. Again, it's not like they have an amazing defense or an amazing O-line, right? They have talent with athletic bodies, but he changed the culture there, to act like he's nothing. It was ridiculous. I mean, there's a reason why I'm at the number that I am, And again, you can do play breakdowns, and go that route and go over that. But to act like stats, doesn't matter and analytics doesn't matter is completely false. So you have a different, your mindset for football, bro, is like when you played in high school, work hard, train, and this and that. But if a player isn't good, right, and then you get offended by it, is because you have too much attachment, right? It's like being biased, that you're only covering the people that you like and you can't take the criticism. A part of being able to watch sports is being able to handle, constructive criticism. And also when someone isn't good, realizing that if they get called out and it's truthful, it might be your player, your team, but if it's truth, and you want to be able to deny the truth, that's on you. Again, you can't focus, like when you were playing football in Pop Warner or high school, that mentality is completely different in the college game and in the NFL. So based on how you see football, based on how you were playing, it's completely different than these guys that are playing in college and the NFL, bro. You got a different type of mindset. And just because, you have a player mindset in high school doesn't mean that's going to relay over into college and NFL with these type of guys that are playing. Facts. Yeah, but again, also too, the difference is people that actually watch games and watch film and read, and people that don't. So if you watch film and you actually are watching the games in entirety, those are the people that typically are the smartest because they have the best breakdowns. They're actually watching the games from beginning to end. They're, again, stats matter, film matters, And again, if you're not watching enough, then you're not going to be able to come to a conclusion that obviously is going to be on point, Anyone can say anything if they're not watching film or not watching the stats, So I guess Baker Mayfield's trash, Sam Darnold's trash, the Bucs and Vikings aren't good. Oh, Jaden Daniels, 82% completed passes. Oh, I guess that's not good. That's the highest in a 4-game span in an NFL history. Oh, but Jaden Daniels isn't a good player. Okay. He's the best rookie, obviously, quarterback in this class, and obviously we haven't got a chance to really see a whole lot of Drake May or Michael Penix Jr., but, based on what we're seeing, he is the Lamar Jackson of the NFC. And if you can't see that now, then you're not watching the film, period. Get his ass. Incomplete. Oh, flag on Levante David. Let me see a replay. Yeah, Geno's great too, just because, some people outside, that they don't like a particular region or team, again, if you're watching the games, Sam has been great. Geno's been great. Baker's been great. Jaden Daniels has been great. You think if Jaden Daniels was a shitty quarterback, they'd be 3-1? I mean, we're talking about a team that traditionally is terrible, that finishes in last place every fucking year. Just saying. There's a difference between some of us in the room. Yeah, but you don't watch as much film or read as much as me and a few others in this room, and it shows. Everyone is open and entitled to their own opinion, but again, if you're not watching the games in entirety, you don't really have room to talk on compared to people that are walking and going through the whole process of going through the stats and actually watching the games. Because then you're not going to have an opinion that's actually on point if you're not watching. You're just doing it based on your perception of a player. A little short gain to Algier. (30-27) Buccaneers. No problem. Have a great time at your reunion. Cousins? What a catch. They're just ripping up Tampa zone. First down. Drake London. Move the chains. And this one is coming down to whoever has the ball last. Flag on the play. For real. Finally, we get a goddamn penalty on Atlanta. Lindstrom for holding. I'm still waiting for that big fumble or that big pick, but again, no Antoine Winfield Jr. Again, there's going to be certain players that make plays, right? Vita Vea, right? Levante David, Antoine Winfield Jr. Those are, by far our three best with Zion McCollum. And again, sometimes you're not going to be able to have your best performance if you have one or two of those guys out. 7 penalties there for the Falcons, only 4 for the Bucs. But we need a good stop. Shotgun set, little screen pass. Wrap him up. Strip that shit. Good defense there by the Bucs. Nice little gang tackle. 3rd and 7. Shotgun set. Pressure on the edge. Wide open. Pitt's actually getting an opportunity to get the ball. 3rd down. His defense is not very Tampa Bay-like. I'm used to guys flying around, punching the football out, getting a pick here and there. Definitely, we're getting tore up. Both offenses are fantastic, but the defenses are definitely struggling on both sides of the ball. 3rd and 6. Step up, Tampa. Cousins. Pressure on the edge. Oh, my God. Wow. What happened to my hands? Hell yeah. Wow. Wide open. That could have been a touchdown. Unbelievable. That's like one of those things where you're so open you can't even believe it, and then there's no one there, and then he dropped it. Wow. A very rare drop by Mooney, who's actually been great today. Let's go! You want to go for a field goal? Not today! Bang! Let's go! Let's win this game. Koo with 2 missed kicks and a block, baby. This would have been 5 points, baby. Let's go. Let's go. There's our defensive play. I had to wait till special teams. Let's go. Let's go. We might not be able to make plays, on 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, but at least we end up making a play on fucking special teams. Let's go. Hell yeah. Let's go. We get a touchdown here, this game is over. We get a field goal, obviously, they can come back. But again, Koo with a very uncharacteristic type of game, and that was just a great defensive effort on special teams. Get that guy a game ball. We got extremely lucky with that Mooney drop and then that block kick. I mean, how often do kicks get blocked as far as NFL games are concerned? Not often. That was amazing. Now we got to capitalize, get Cade Otton the touchdown. Boom, 37-27 final. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. Sometimes, it pays to be a little lucky. Obviously it pays to be good. Defenses have gotten ripped apart in this game, but it's been exciting. It wasn't the 13-10 game that we had a few years back. 30-27. I mean, I don't know if you could really ask for a better Thursday night game besides week 1 with the Chiefs going against the Ravens. Wow. What a game. What a game. Everyone getting points. Yes. Crazy, right? And of course, I don't want to see you, lose points because Mooney might have been able to score another touchdown right there. But hell, I mean, you already got to be extremely happy in fantasy right now. You got 2 guys that most people would have on their bench, and you're starting them because of Puka and A.J. Brown with the injury, right? And you got literally almost 50 points between 2 guys. That's got to be an amazing fucking feeling, bro. Nice job. Like, I don't know if you, I mean, even if you got 15 and 15, you would have been ecstatic with that, with London and Mooney, right? Like 15 and 15, or, anything double digit wise. But of course, 10 and 10, you're not happy, but at least you got 10 and 10. 15 and 15, you're feeling pretty good, right? But obviously, once you get 20 and 20, that's pretty amazing, right? Come on, Bucks. 3rd down and 2, baby. The way to be able to bounce back, bro. 25 out of London, 28.8 out of Mooney. Incredible, dude. Great job. Come on, Baker. Run, Baker. Yeah, baby. There we go. 1st down, Buccaneers. Yeah, I mean, the Falcons, players, like I said, we had one guy try to top block and tear Levante David's ACL. Then you had a little hip drop twisting action by Anyamata, who tried to injure Baker. Again, I can't have 2 of my superstars go down, especially to plays that are a little suspect. We're at 22:78 to go. Baker. Bucky is there. There we go. It's time for Cade Otton. Let's go, baby. I'm ready for that Cade Otton touchdown because they're not going to expect him to get the ball. You got Mike Evans, you got Godwin, you got Bucky, you got Rashad, you got plenty of options. But the one guy that's going to be open, as long as the throw is there, will be Cade Otton. Super underrated tight end. Little play action. Bucky's very shifty. I mean, at this point, you can get the 1st down with Baker Mayfield's legs probably better than Rashad White or Bucky Irving. I mean, unless it's, wide open and whatnot. So, because again, when we had Tom Brady, you're not going to be able to get a lot of runs, with his legs, obviously being as slow as he is. Let's see what happens here. Come on, baby. Get that push. Yes. 1st down, Bucks. Rashad White. One of the best clutch runs that we needed right there. Let's go. Yeah, well, most people were hating on Oregon, thinking that, our players, it was just like a fluke type of thing, Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson, arguably the best center in college football besides Graham Barton, right? Troy Franklin was great. Bo Nix was great. Bucky, obviously, he's got that agility and that he's a little undersized. But, Rashad White, the same thing was kind of said about him, even though he's a little bit physically bigger on the top end of his body with his arms and his upper body. But Bucky is a better running back to me. Oh, he just fumbled it. Fuck! Bucky! Jesus Christ, Bucky. Oh. Finley gives Bucky Irving some credit, and then he fumbles. Fuck! Well, Bucky Irving was a good running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not anymore. Off the team. Just kidding. Fuck! Bucky? Should have went to Cade Otton, like I said. Jesse Bates III and punched the football out. Son of a bitch. Come on, Bucky. You want to be the starter? You can't have that fucking happen. Him and Godwin being a little bit loosey-goosey with that football. Fucking A. We might lose now. Unbelievable. It's not like we can stop them on defense. It's like we got to pray that it goes to coup and we go to overtime now. Unless we can make a big stop. Terrible. Jesus Christ, Bucky. Go back to Oregon. Fuck. No, it's all good, bro. Dude, I've already gone through so many seasons with Oregon and Tampa being shitty. Like, nothing surprises me anymore. And obviously, it's nice that both teams are kind of good now. But we need a big stop here. Tackle his ass. But it's just hilarious that Finley's, Bucky's a steal for the Bucks. And then literally next play, he fucking fumbles. And that is very uncharacteristic for Bucky and Chris Godwin. We got lucky and we got the Godwin fumble back with Mike Evans, but Bucky might have cost the team a dub here tonight. 2nd and 12. Get his ass! Yeah! 12 noon, you know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. There we go. There we go. Yes, they do. Oh, Braylon Allen is a beast, too. He doesn't get enough credit on the Jets. I mean, obviously, they got Breece Hall, but Braylon is nice. 3rd down and 19. Get his ass. Tackle him. There we go. Got a punt now. Yeah, man, Mahomes has not looked really good. I mean, they're still good enough, it feels like, to be able to make an AFC championship game and maybe a Super Bowl, even though you guys won back-to-back, but no Rashee Rice, no Pacheco. It's going to be a hell of a lot harder, unless for whatever weird reason Devontae Adams becomes the chief, but I don't think you guys have the money for him. But again, it's like, to have 6 touchdowns and 5 picks, that's not good, And again, you can definitely tell the people that, play fantasy and watch football and the people that don't, because, thinking that Mahomes is, he's not even startable in fantasy. Like, again, a lot of people have dropped him or have him on the bench. He just hasn't been good. And even with that being said, he had Rashee Rice, who was like the number 2, number 3 wide receiver in the NFL, but still it wasn't, good enough to, again, accuracy, there's a number of reasons, why there's a little bit of a decline, but luckily we're not only judged just based on like fantasy numbers. Some guys can be a great fantasy player, but hopefully things will get better for you guys. No, I can't. Wow, 4th and 15. Get his ass. Get his ass. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. You try to be able to injure my guy. This is exactly what happens, baby. Levante David with the win. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's what happens, baby. Bye-bye, Kurt. That's what happens when you try to injure my team. Bye-bye. Let's go. 4-1, number 1 in the NFC South. Levante David, first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Hell yeah. First pick in 4 seasons, and he chose a great time to do it. Let's go. Hell yeah, Levante. Hell yeah. Damn, that put me in a hella good mood. Let's go. Man, what a game. What a fucking game. Awesome. Let's go, baby. Bucky Irving back out there. No fumbles, baby. No fumbles. Hell yeah. It's lonely at the top. Bucky with the football. Let's go. No fumbles, baby. Flag on the play. Holding on the offense. Yeah, definitely a face mask. Yeah, Levante David, rookie jersey. I mean, even though it was kind of like that ugly, with the orange, there, that they only wore for like a season, but of course I, watched him at Nebraska. I kind of felt that he would be the next Derek Brooks. He was. And again, he is the standard of excellence. And they actually have a few words, based off his consistency that they want all the players to be like him. That's a big compliment. Little screen to Rashad White. Look at Mike Evans. Look at Mike Evans. If they would have thrown it deep, Mike Evans could have scored. Mike is like, man, I could have had a big one there. Yeah, but he's been very good with Atlanta, Mooney. Again, I don't know if anyone anticipated him playing as good as he did. But again, when you got a guy like Kirk Cousins, anything is possible. Man, why couldn't we just won this game already? Damn it. Especially when the defense has, been kind of reeling. I mean, we finally ended up getting, a big play, but this is too close for comfort until I see zeros. Fuck. Our backup punter is out there too. This isn't even our regular guy, Camarda. So, of course, if we had our regular punter, that would have been probably inside the 5 or the 10 and not into the fucking end zone. Uh-oh. Now we just got to pray Levante David can make another big play. All these games have been super close for the Falcons all year. All 4 games decided by one score. 1 or 2 plays away from 4-0, 1 or 2 plays from being 0-4. And they're 2-2 right in the middle. Get his ass. Come on, Tampa, make a play. Come on, Bucks. Jesus, wide open, unbelievable. Come on, Tampa, way the fuck up, man. Gosh, I miss Antoine Winfield Jr. This is ridiculous. 411 yards. Jesus Christ. Fumble! Fuck. It's like, can't we get some goddamn pressure on Kirk Cousins? This is ridiculous. "21 seconds left. I mean, it would be nice for us to be able to get some goddamn pressure and get some sack lunches. Like, get to fucking Kirk Cousins, damn it. And again, playing this goddamn soft zone, it's not working. Getting fucking tore the fuck up. I mean, he's about to have like 500 fucking yards. Make a pick, make a sack, get his ass. And there's no late flag. Shut up. Crowd trying to get some extra. Come on, Tampa, you bums. Play some D. Come on, baby. Play some defense. Yes! Yes! Nice job, McCollum. Look at McCollum's defense. He's been great for us this year. Man, stressful as shit. Come on, Tampa. Come on, Tampa. Come on, Tampa. Come on, Tampa. Come on. Come on, Tampa. Best game, man. Best Thursday night game besides week 1 with the Ravens and the Chiefs. Reflect back in the building. What's good? Delay a game. Hell yeah. Big penalty. Four more likes to 30. Everyone's getting points though, right? Like if you're talking about fantasy and you're getting a lot of points with everybody, Evans with 23, Otten with 7.4, I'll take that. Bijan with 10, Baker with 23. Your kicker, McLaughlin from my Bucks, 16. Drake London with 29. Mooney with 31.5. Fuck. Godwin with 11.6. Super Chief is just raking with this London Mooney combo. Who would have thought? You know, like no Puka, no AJ Brown. You think your season is over, and you just insert fucking Mooney as well as Drake London, and you're putting up exact numbers that Puka and AJ Brown would do. Hell, maybe even more. Kick is up. And good. Overtime. My God. What a game. What a game. One of the best games of the year. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, I wish the defenses were better. You know, I'm a defensive-minded, fan. So to see, obviously both defenses get ripped apart. But again, every once in a while, it is nice to be able to see offensive firepower, right? You get to see, kickers get their points. You get running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks. We've even seen a few kind of crazy things with Koo missing those 2 missed field goals, getting one blocked. But if Tampa's defense was better, we would have easily won this game by 3 to 10 points. But obviously, defense is non-existent in this matchup today. Fuck, we might have just lost. Come on, Baker, you need to call heads. Why'd you call tails? Ay. Yeah, and even if we lose, we're still going to be in the playoffs. I still think we're going to win the division, but it shows you when you have your, arguably best player on defense not named Levante David or Vita Vea playing, this is what happens. We need to have Antoine Winfield Jr., especially if we get teams that are passing like this. I need to be able to have that enforcer on the back end to be able to get some interceptions and punch some footballs out and tackle appropriately, which is something that we haven't gotten here today. Oh, man. Come on, sports gods. Couple more weeks. He's only played in 1 game, so we're actually lucky to be in the position of being 3-1, But hopefully he'll end up being back in a couple weeks. But we're really feeling the pain, It's one thing to, get your ass kicked by Denver, but, I mean, this is a game that we should have won. But obviously kind of let them back in it. Yeah, and it's one thing just to have like your starting safety back, but when it ends up being arguably the best safety in football, I mean, just imagine if that was your team and you were missing out on a piece like that. Like if you're Michael and you're an Eagles fan and there's no like Brian Dawkins back there, you think you're going to be able to play good defense? Fuck no. You know, it's like you need every piece out there. It's like if John Lynch was gone from my team, you know, we wouldn't be as good. Or Rondé Barber or Warren Sapp or Derek Brooks. You need those guys. Chief with a 3-er. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. I need another miracle here. I need another Levante David kind of play. Another 3-er. Appreciate that. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Kirk Cousins about to throw for fucking 500 yards. My God. That's a problem. Second and 9. I'll go with a 5-er. Appreciate that. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Cousins. Nice catch there by Drake London, the USC product. Yeah. The one individual that really hasn't, been a factor. So, third down. Can we play some defense? Of course not. London takes a big pop. He's injured now. Sometimes I wish that we could play man, because playing this like soft zone or, cover 2 or Tampa 2, it's just ridiculous, man. Or I would just wish that we could actually get some goddamn pressure, like we need a Simeon Rice up front, to be able to help out with Vita Vea. Appreciate you, Michael. Reflect and Chief will Chief. That's ridiculous. 12 out of 13. Chief O'Chief is just fucking on this amazing hot streak with these 2 fucking receivers, man. Unbelievable. He's projected for 153. Double E doesn't look like he has a chance. 33.4 and 31.5. That is the most by dual receivers in fantasy this season. Unbelievable. Touchdown, Falcons. And that's it. Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? That's what happens when you don't have defense. Unbelievable. We let this game slip through our fingers. At least everyone got good fantasy points today, but that is a terrible way to lose. And again, when you don't have good defense, it ends up, it's going to bite you. And Kirk Cousins, what can you say? When he has plenty of time back there, just like Baker Mayfield, right? You're going to make plays, and sometimes you'll end up having an unsuspected hero, and it shows you how valuable Antoine Winfield Jr. is to this team. When he's on the team, we're going to end up finding ways to win. When he's not in the game, then this is what happens. This is a brutal loss. Unbelievable. Well, at least I got some good points out of Kate Otten and Mike Evans in fantasy, but this is not the ending that I wanted. But again, the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, and again, defense wins games and defense wins championships, and that was terrible. Thanks a lot, Bucky, for the fucking fumble. I appreciate that. Thanks, defense, for playing good. And then you got an interception by Levante David, and it still wasn't enough. Unbelievable. Back-to-back wins against the Saints and the Bucs. Congratulations, Falcons. I got Kirk Cousins doing the swag and the surf. He's having a great time. Well, they'll be partying in Atlanta tonight. At least this was a good game to watch. You know, I don't have to be a fucking poor sport about it. You know, I've watched this team, you know, when we were terrible. But again, when you give up 500 yards, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick, most in Falcons history, I mean, what do you expect? You know, he's slightly better than Desmond Ridder. What do you think? One of the best games of the year. I just wish I was on the winning end. You know, but it shows you defense was absolutely dog shit. Like, how do you let Hodge win the fucking game here? Really? And Antoine Winfield Jr. Would have not let that happen. Unbelievable. Yeah, we're both tied at 3-2. I mean, obviously they beat you know, the Bucs and the Saints, so technically they're in first place, but we'll be fine. We'll recover. We'll remember this, and hopefully when we play them again at home, we will get payback. But I hope that we actually have a fucking defense, you know, because again, I'm a defensive-minded guy, and that was probably one of the most painful losses, watching, you know, your favorite team just get run up and down over and over and over again. But you got to give credit where credit is due. The Falcons were the better team today. You know, not enough sacks, not enough interceptions, not enough pressures, and they ended up winning the game. So congrats to all the Falcons fans. Hopefully all y'all in fantasy ended up scoring big. Brutal. Well, that definitely I don't want to say ruined by night, but again, you know, at least Mike Evans and Cade, you know, Otten ended up getting some decent points for me in fantasy. But man, what a rough way and a tough way to lose. Brutal. Well, I appreciate every single one of y'all who liked, donated, commented, shared. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score: Atlanta Falcons 36, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30 in overtime. And congratulations, the Atlanta Falcons. They earned it. Kirk Cousins, you're the man. And again, shout out to Mooney, fantasy owners, as well as Drake London. I mean, those guys have been cashing in. Congratulations to Chief. Well, Chief, you single-handedly won in fantasy with 2 players only. Not many people can say that. And hopefully I'll be able to bounce back and be able to get back on track. But again, defense wins games. Defense wins championships. If you don't have one, then this is what happened. Happy birthday, Sarah. And congratulations to all the Falcons fans and all the fantasy owners of Falcon players. And even if you got some Bucs players that gave you some numbers like Reflect, at least I got you some numbers from the kicker as well. We'll be live tomorrow for the Ducks going against the Spartans, Michigan State versus Oregon. We got WWE Bad Blood pay-per-view on Saturday. We got Steelers, Cowboys on Sunday night, and then we got Chiefs and the Saints on Monday night. So you guys have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go take Paisley on a long walk and get some hugs and kisses and some consoling from her. I'm going to eat a good dinner, and I'll be right back at it in a good mood tomorrow. And I won't let the loss affect me. And again, great job by the Falcons. The NFC South is back, and it's nice to have 3 teams competing for the NFC South crown: Bucs, Falcons, and Saints. And then hopefully one day, obviously Finley's Panthers will catch up to the other 3 teams. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Happy birthday, Sarah. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Good job, Falcons. And I'm out. Gang, gang.